Well, I'm not sure what we're going to get from the Vin man today.
Well, that could be a handy inclusion. He's been named in their best 3 of the 7 games that he's played. So he's been pretty important when he's been here, and probably brings them a lot, pretty much at full strength. It's really only on the fringes that you might be able to make a case for someone to come in, someone to come out. So they're pretty much at full strength, and Redcliffe's really, in terms of who they're missing, it's just Jake Cresp, as it was the case last week, that they'd love to have back in there, but they're pretty close. Albeit we will be keeping an eye again on Jake Reid and how he pulled up after last week.
And Jake McCreary.
As well.
He really didn't have much impact last week, did he?
Couldn't get going, could he? Just looked like he was moving freely enough, but it was maybe above the shoulders a bit with Jake. He's pinged him a couple of times, so he was just trying to just ease back into it. We were watching him before he got here, Riddles, having a few kicks of goal. Looked like he was moving okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, they really need him to start getting, as you said, that confidence back coming into finals footy, and it's going to be really intriguing, as you said, those older bodies now that are so crucial to the Redcliffe lineup, and making sure not only do they manage them through, but also having an impact. So it's a fine line, isn't it?
With McCreary, it's the role as well. They don't probably want him hidden in the forward line come finals. They probably want him a bit of a wrecking ball through the middle as well. So it'll be about building him back up to that level.
Does it rain today?
Well, there is the forecast of 25% chance of 0 to 1, Riddle, so call that as you see it. But there has been a couple of spots, I reckon. Copped a few on the way out. DFAT had a couple on the walk upstairs only about 10 minutes ago, but it's going to be
we've got Sunny Boys out there on the he's getting wet. He's got the Bunnings umbrella out there. He's putting his hands out to let us know. It's definitely starting to get a little bit wet.
He's set up a treat there, isn't he?
He's set up. I'll tell you what, Sonny, it's great to see you out there. What a stalwart. I mean, rain, hail or shine, the man's just a machine. And what a good-looking rooster as well.
Yeah, right, he's up on that front. But let's have a look at Maxie Hollingworth's lineup today. These are the players that he's going to be taking care of. It's looking to be Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody, Vinnie Rohde, Scott Bedford, Nigel Lockyer and Jimmy Kennedy. So that's an excitement-packed lineup to go for there. For Redcliffe's, we've got Jack Parker, Vas DeFeo, Desmond Tupaman-Tamuri and Jake McCreary. So some real key players that we'll be getting the stats on right across the day, Riddles.
Yeah, well, as we said, Maxie's certainly got the eye for the best players. He certainly makes sure that the best of the best are picked out each week, and the stats man will no doubt be obviously filling his boots up with that pen today.
Now, DFAB, you've got your phone out, it's open, and you've got a heap of notes there, mate. So have you got something that's a key indicator in this game for you?
Well, there's just one area of the ground that I'm really focused on today, and that is a pretty good forward line up against a pretty good back line, because you've got Merbein with 3 of the top 5 goal kickers in the league at the moment. Nigel Lockyer on top now with 34. Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody's kicked 28. He's in 4th, and then just 1 goal behind is Corey Lockles. So it's pretty high standard in terms of attack. It's just them and Mildura who are both scoring about 81 points a game. So there's only a decimal point in between those two top teams for how many points you're scoring. And then at the other end, Redcliffe's they're top 3 for points against. They're not maybe as elite in that category, but they are doing a very good job at restricting other teams. Probably a big part of why they won last week was they held Mildura to 61 points. So
I love his stats.
That's a pretty handy thing.
He's all over it. Yeah.
And we saw it with Tipper Mantamuri last week, taking a lot of intercept marks. He was good. Will Hand was good going to Kerridge and folling him wherever he went. So it'll be interesting to watch who goes to the big 3 in the forward line at Merbein, and how they choose to match up against. It's a sort of a different natured forward line, because you've got a bit of unpredictability in terms of how some of them get their goals too.
Conversely, for the Tigers, Riddles, they've got the 3 bigs inside the forward 50. You've got Jared McGlashan, you've got Jake Reid, and you've got Jack Steele. So that's going to ask plenty of questions of the Magpie defence, isn't it?
Well, it does. And then you've also got the likes of Ashton Gowers who can go forward. So if he's going to rest in the ruck, you sometimes get Steele that goes into the ruck. Although this is an interesting move, as we can see already. Ashton Gowers is coming to the interchange bench.
Wow.
Jared McGlashan's going out there. Big shout out to obviously Rob and Sal, but you've also got Morsey down there. So Morsey and Kev, Rangers' parents, are down south in Tassie. So a big shout out to everyone. Need to turn up that dial, because I think Kev might not be able to hear us as good as he once did. But big shout out to those guys down in Tassie today listening. But J-Mac, ready to take this out of bounds.
He is, and teams are in readiness. As the siren sounds, our first quarter ready to get underway for the Euston Club Resort. It's Ben Ridley and Michael D. Fabrizio.
And the 2 big ruckmen start off. Ricks wins it down. He goes to get his ball straight afterwards. Just a little toe poke forward, but Tapira Muntamuri gets a nice little tap back. Manzi Quick handball out to Tafeo. Vas Tafeo soccering off the ground here on centre wing commentary side. He's pushed out of the contest. Could have been a free kick. Umpire says no as the pack forms. Nicely grabbed out of the contest by Noah Hills. He's wearing the long sleeves today as he goes inside 50, top of the 50, looking for Leckel, trying to beat a couple of players. There's 3-on-1. Ball spills out wide to Peter Tafeo at right half back with a clearing kick. Finds, looks like it's Felix Smith on the outside.
And he sends it up the wing, so Redcliffe's trying to move it forward for the first time, although the kick there just had a bit too much on it because it couldn't be collected before the boundary line. Still a boundary throw in, so the Tigers will set up just slightly favouring their end of the ground, but on that far side wing comes in Ricks against McGlashan in the ruck. Big hit there from McGlashan and sits nicely for the Tigers. Parker comes charging through to get a kick inside 50, just lands at the feet of the intended target. And a few stacks on McCreary's lurking, so is Bedford for the Pies, but it'll get held up about 45 metres from that Redcliffe's goal.
Yeah, top of the 50. Redcliffe's doing most of the work forward at the moment. Still tries to get the punch out, gets it down, but immediately tackled is Connolly. Ball spills out to Ricks. Ricks gets a running handball off to the running player in Hills. Hills kicks forward. Intercepted, cut off by Manzi, but is immediately tackled by Trooper Bedford, and that's a great tackle by Bedford. Pinged the arm down, chicken winged him, and at right half back, it's going to take a free kick.
Sends it up the wing. It looks like it's gone towards Harradine. He had a bit of a battle there with Tafao and kicked off the deck by the Tigers to try and collect. Was McGlashan charging through, and Smith gets over it. Handball. Finds the teammate there, and it's just into the advantage of a few Tigers jumpers, and it's slapped forward in the end by McGlashan. Although Dusha comes charging through. Another kick off the deck from Ricks. He's had 2 of those so far in this game. Hills tries to collect. It's just missing the target slightly at the moment, and Dusha ran out of time, so it's going to be Parker with the free kick.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to goose step, but forgot about the goose. So we've got Jack Parker left half forward. He's had a great season this year. Goes down the line looking for a lead from Steele. Ball spills over the back. Jed Connolly running onto it. Tight to the boundary. Goes around the corner with a banana kick. Not a great kick, but somehow landed into the hands of a diving Jake Reid, and a kick something out of nothing. And Jake Reid just read that ball absolutely perfectly, and a sliding mark for the veteran is going to set them up for their first goal. And you'd think, DFAB, only 30 metres out, there's not going to be too much hard work here, not really much of an angle.
Yep, no, it should be light work for him, although we'll keep an eye on how his legs are shaping up after last week. Came off, but came back on, and he's such an important player for them, is Jake Reid. He's, again, got not much of an angle to speak of. He'll kick from about 30 metres out. Comes in now, Reid, to get the first of the game, and that is a beautiful strike of the ball.
Did not look like missing at all there, and the first score goes to the Tigers on the Kumiella Club scoreboard. Just over 3 minutes gone. Redcliffe's at 1 straight 6, leading Merbein yet to score, and some pretty tight contests already, DFAB, around the ground, and really doesn't look like it's going to be a free-flowing game. Both sides love the contested footy.
Yeah, no, there was just a bit of pressure on the footy, wasn't there, on the wing here that got Merbein unstuck in the end. They were just looking for a handball, and it just seemed like they were a split second behind where they needed to be to get it out of danger, and in the end the Tigers were able to work it up the other way and get it in the position of their danger key forward.
Yeah, no, it was a very smart kick in the end there by Jed Connolly, as he had that banana kick really tight on the boundary, but as we said, just read absolutely perfectly by Jake Reid, and gives him the first score. As we see, a reload in the centre of the ground, this time really to no advantage. Tried to slap out of the contest for a second grab there was McGlashan. Cut off. Kyle Stevens dives his way through Magic, going inside, looking for Harradine. 35 metres out. Takes a beautiful contested mark. He was virtually sandwiched inside the pack between 2 defenders. And he's a bit of a jack of all trades, isn't he? He can play forward, can play back. Last week we saw him start back, but that was a really classy grab.
It was, yeah. No, he, like you said, he caught it exactly. He was right in between the 2 of them, but stood strong. Probably feeling a bit sore now, but gets the chance to kick from just inside the 50-metre arc. Not much angle.
Not much angle. He comes in the left footer, gives himself a little bit of an angle to go to it. It's looking pretty good off the boot. And it is straight through the middle, and that's the first of the afternoon. And Mick Harradine taking a great grab there with a nice contest out of the middle by Cole Stevens. Evens up the scores. Nearly 5 minutes gone in the first quarter. Kumiella Club scoreboard, 1 goal apiece here to both sides. But as we said, just a really nice contested mark there. But it was the work done down the track there by Cole Stevens to weave his way through the middle of the ground.
No, that's right. And we'll just go around the grounds for Fatty Boomba. Not too many updates other than Imperials at 1 point trailing Wentworth 7 points. But no results from the other game so far.
Yeah, some very big games being played all around the region today as the ball spills down to Tafao. Tafao, quick handball out to Kennedy. Kennedy slaps it onto the boot, top of the 50, looking for Steele. Being out-muscled onto it, but coming off perfectly was Cooper Germain, looking for his left foot. Could have been tripped over. The umpire says no. Ball spills back into the hands of, it looks like, Hooker. Immediately tackled, and the umpire's caught holding the ball, but maybe a little bit hot on the whistle. But either way, right on the 50, it's going to be a kick by Jed Connolly. And you would think that right on the boundary here is probably going to be a little bit too far out for Connolly. So you would think he's going to be looking towards the top of the square, DFAB.
Would be an impressive effort to get it from there. And Merbein's big rapper, Matt Ricks, has gone to the goal line just in case. It's a good connection. It'll just go off to the right, though. Might have had the distance in the end, but a tricky one to be able to work back from there.
No, it was a really good kick in the end, coming there really tight on the boundary. Gave it absolutely everything he could, but either way, we see Angus Smith try to run out of the back pocket. Goes with a short kick looking for his doppelganger there in Cole Stevens. The kick just had a little bit too much on it, and it was gone out of bounds on the full, so it's going to be a free kick at right half forward here. Attacking end for the Tigers, Vastafao. Goes inside, 30 metres out. The pack form still pushed out of it. Ricks comes through with a nice little recovery off the back handballs with the looping hands to Hills. Hills goes forward looking for Lockyer. Lockyer's got Hills back in again. Goes short, looking for a teammate. Beats them all. Leckel is a little bit further up the ground on centre wing, trying to come through and just help any way he could. Hills has to go back and try and help, but he's been caught holding the ball again. Gee whiz, they're hot on the whistle today, Tifa.
Got to move it quickly, don't you? As we've got Pete Tafao on the wing for Redcliffe's. His ball just way too much on that in the Germain direction, but it's out of bounds on the full, so it's just going to go straight back to the Magpies, and they'll get a chance to work it up the wing themselves. As we just look at some of the matchups, Lockyer and Tapua Mount Murray. What a matchup that's going to be.
That's a ripper. Lee Page goes long down the line looking for that man. The ball spills over the back. Pete Tafao, third in line, gets the mark, quickly handballs onto Jasper Turner, running through the corridor. He's going to be looking for his left foot. He does. Goes to the top of the 50, finds Vastafao, 45 metres out, all by himself. And threaded the eye of a needle there to be able to find Tafao, but had plenty of time and space to be able to make the right decision coming through the centre corridor too, DFAB.
Yeah, and some of the inside 50 kicks from Redcliffe really just setting up nicely for their key targets, and Vastafao is pushed up as well, so he'll get the chance, not too much of a difficult angle, but just inside the 50, as a few players fake a few leads. But Tafao now launches it towards the square. It might sit a bit short. Ricks again with a bit of presence, gets it out in the end through the hands of Ball, and almost Stevens a mark, so still just trying to work it out of their defensive 50. Hooker gets a palm to it, but it's over the boundary line, so a throw in just inside 50, favouring Redcliffe's.
Must be a little bit of a breeze down there at the moment, because Vastafao got really close to the man on the mark going in to kick on goal. But Merbein are finding it hard to be able to clear it out of the defensive 50 at the moment, as we see the umpire reload back into the boundary. Nice tap by Ricks down to Stevens. Stevens gets it to a running teammate, and Smith has the ball smothered off the boot. Tapua Muntamuri comes into the right spot with a nice little left foot kick. Perfectly picks out the direct opposition in Merbein.
Yes, so it'll be Hooker who sets up, sends it towards the wing. He really just picks out Lockyer nicely there, and Lockyer just plays on, and why not? Keep it running. He's inside 50 towards Lockell. He's got the advantage ahead of Bell. Might have had enough on it. Umpire says he has. It's either a mark or a free kick, but it'll be Lockell getting the chance. He's close-ish to the boundary, though, and it'll be just inside 50. Maybe he might be able to get 45.
It was a beautiful
so could be within his range.
Wasn't it? Out in front, the big Dukes. As we see Leckel, as you said, he's probably 5 metres in from the school side of the Oval's boundary as he gives it everything he can. Looks like it's not going to make it. Goes across the face of goal and punched through for a behind there by the Redcliffe defenders. That gives Merbein 9.5 minutes gone, a 1-point lead. 1-1-7 leading Redcliffe's 1 straight 6 on the Kumiella Club scoreboard.
Turner takes the kick in and finds Brizzy, and his ball picks out a teammate just on the defensive 50 arc. Comes back inboard though to McGlashan, and they'll just be a bit deliberate with how they share it around coming out of defence. It's back to Brizzy now. He's got Tapua Murray. Charging in though was Lockyer to make him earn it, but he does take the mark and he will play on. Tapua Murray just takes it a bit casually, but then launches up the wing. It's only going to go as far as Angus Smith, though, one of the key players for Merbein.
He's got a beautiful long sleeve jumper on to really just trick us again with his doppelganger Cole Stevens. He looks inside, he's got Ricks in the middle of the corridor. Ricks has got a running player who uses him in Cooper Dodds, but he runs into Kennedy. This time Ricks has to come in and try and help out. Goes to the top of the 50. Bedford has trouble. He tries to weave his way through. He's got 3 players to beat, surely holding the ball. And the umpire sees it exactly that way. So it's going to be a free kick. It looks like it's going to be in the hands of... Who is that wearing 63 for Redcliffe at the moment? 63. On the outer side. Is it Paddy Connolly wearing the 63? Oh, Paddy, what are you doing to us? So... Paddy Connolly with an errant kick on the side of the boot goes out of bounds, and it's going to be a boundary throw in 60 metres out. Left half forward attacking end here for the Pies.
Shout out to Max Hollingworth for pointing that one out. He's got better eyes than us, picking it out from the other side of the ground.
That wouldn't be too hard though.
Yeah, probably not. As the umpire collects the ball, we'll get a throw in. It's just outside 50. In fact, it might even just be contested on the 50-metre paint. As Lockwood goes up against McGlashan. Lockwood just gets it tapped down and might have to rove it himself. He does. Picks it up off the deck, throws it on the boot towards Lockyer. Sits nicely for him, but just came in a bit awkwardly for him. It comes to ground. Trying to weave through traffic now is Rhodey, his little dribbler into the pocket. It arrives nicely there for a teammate who just goes inboard, but in the end, that's going to get chopped off by Pete Tafeo.
Geez, they're really good setup behind the ball, Redcliffe, as we see clearing out to the commentary side. He finds McGlashan. McGlashan's got a runner in Thompson. Thompson goes with a nice kick down the line, looking for Kennedy. It's probably a little bit too short for him, and it is. As it's going to go out of bounds, just off the hips really there of Kennedy. So right in front of the Redcliffe coach's box. Another boundary throw in, but very tight footy. 11 and a half minutes gone in the first term. Sees Merbein 1-1-7 leading Redcliffe's a 1 straight 6.
As it's tapped down there by Ricks, and it's almost rode nicely, but in the end the boundary line and a bit of pressure from a few Redcliffe players gets it over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in again just in front of this interchange area. There's a lot of congestion on the wing at the moment.
Certainly is, as we see Frank will take ruck duties against young Ashton Gowers. Keeps his front position. Gowers gets the ball down in congestion at the moment. Bedford tries to weave his way through. Quick little handball out the front to Pettit. Pettit goes inside 50 with a booming kick towards the pocket, looking for a leading Leckel. And as he does so often and so well, Pete Tafeo there to be able to cut it off. And again, he takes a nice contested mark right on the last line of defence.
Yeah, just a few intercepts next to his name already, just floating in as the third man there and chopping it off as Bell sends it in the direction of, is that Gowers, is it?
Yeah, Gowers.
Kicked it towards and on the 50-metre paint, but he recovers nicely and sends it towards Brizzy, but that handball falls short, gives a chance for Lockyer to get back into it and tries the don't argue and sprint away, but in the end he was over the boundary line, so throw in just outside 50 for Merbein.
Yeah, mark should have been taken there by Gowers, put his players under a little bit of pressure with that uncontested mark being dropped. Top of the 50, Frankel front position, but punched out from behind by Gowers. Soccer off the boot, lands into the hands of, looks like that was Vinnie Rhodey. Tries to get the ball forward, 35 metres out. Ball's intercepted. It's in the hands, looking like a dangerous McDonald Tipamori, but it spills back to Ackers. Ackers a handball back to Lockyer. One step with the left foot. Tries to snap it around, and guess who's there on the last line of defence? Pete Tafeo.
Once again, chopping it off and just saving a certain goal and a few bounces and evades the traffic and works it out of defence nicely as the Tigers are up the wing. Big lead from Steele, who's pushed up, and Page gets the better of it in the end because he recovers and gets the handball in the direction of Stevens, who just goes the short option, and it was nicely done in the end to Will Hemming. Takes the mark on the wing, and they'll just get to consider how to go inside 50 from there.
As he goes inside 50, looking for Lockyer. Lockyer's got a couple to beat. Ball spills, punch behind, lurking dangerously is Trooper Bedford. Tries to get a quick handball out to a running Noah Hills, snapping around the corner. Tries to dribble the ball home, but just across the face of goal. And they're really peppering it at the moment, and all ascendancy here is with the Pies, as we see Merbein put another point on the scoreboard there. 1-2-8 leading Redcliffe's 1 straight 6, 14 and a bit minutes gone on the Cumiella Club scoreboard. And all the attacking work at the moment, DFAB, seems to be with the Pies. But around the grounds, what have we got happening?
For Fanny Moomba, it's 13-0 United, leading Mildura 12. No score yet from South and Romavale Euston, that crucial game. And Wentworth 13, leading Imperials 1.
So the kick out from Turner, tries to get it outside of the 50. It's intercepted by Frankel. Frankel gets a handball forward to Bedford. Bedford back to Donahue. Donahue goes tight to the boundary, looking for Trooper Bedford. beats both of them. It goes over the back, but Trooper Bedford is the one who read it perfectly. He runs onto an open ball. It's a banana. Shot on goal, and he's just missed what could have been nearly the goal of the day. But he's just missed to the near side. So, again, another behind, another opportunity gone begging for the Pies. 1-3-9, leading Redcliffe 1 straight 6 on the Coomiella Club scoreboard. But again, just perfectly read there by Trooper Bedford. Ball goes over the back, and he knew exactly where it was going to land, and got a nice little favourable bounce there, cutting back inside. But he read it perfectly.
Yep, stayed with it as the Tigers trying to come out of defence. Brizzy marks just inside the defensive 50. McCreary pushes up to offer a lead, but in the end Brizzy will just kick it up the wing towards Steele and Page.
That's got to be a free kick.
There was a bit of a nudge in the back along the way, so Steele will get the free, but he has been dragged a long way from the goals there by Page, so he'll have to set up from almost from half back.
Yeah, certainly a long way from goals where Steele's most comfortable. So at left half back, just underneath our nose here at the commentary box, he goes short, dangerously short. It's cut off by Bedford. Bedford immediately tackled there by Steele, who was not going to let him go past. He made hard work there for his teammate Parker, but gee whiz, made it a lot harder for Bedford to get past.
Absolutely. You just thought he would just weave through all that traffic, Bedford, and break away. And we restart. Connolly wraps up Rhodey in a tackle, so we'll restart yet again. And this time the ruck match-up we expected to start with the two number 10s, and Gowers in the end did better by just sitting a bit back from the contest. Allowed him to rove it, but the kick goes over the boundary line just for a throw-in. Again, in front of these interchange gates. The action's quite close to us today, Ben.
It's very good. No, they've understood that we're getting older, getting blinder, so they're trying to play the game on our side. Get it in front position perfectly. Tap down to Reardon by Gowers. Reardon goes to the top of the 50, cut off. Looks like that was by Lamos Felton. Kicks long down the line. Flying was Bedford. Immediately tackled by Tafeo. Ball spills to ground, back into Tafeo's hands. He's got to get rid of it quickly. He does. Finds Jimmy Kennedy, who's weaving his way through the pack. Tapping it to himself. He hasn't got clean possession of it yet. Finally gets clean possession. Gives it to Tapura Muntamuri, who's got a player on the outer side if he wants, but he doesn't. He gets pushed off the ball, gets caught holding the ball. And Nigel Lockyer quickly plays on, looking for a leading Hills, and a great grab in front. Looks like it's been dropped, Spoil. And it's all happening at ground level. Tapura Muntamuri gets a quick handball back to Will Hand, but again, really no clean possession. He's got to find the runner in Bell. He uses him. So Bell down on the wing, and the ball's smothered off the boot by Ricks, and again, lands in the hands of Lockyer. Handball over the top to Hooker. Hooker out wide, finds another teammate. And Dodds goes with a short kick and finds Leckel 40 metres out. And wow, bit of chaos footy from both sides there, DFAB. Yes. And finally we get to take a deep breath with a nice little spot-up kick from Cooper Dodds. And this time Leckel is going to be kicking right on 50 with really no angle. And he's going to, again, take his best.
Yep, found himself just with a bit more space than some of his earlier contests, Leckel there. And now we'll kick from the 50-metre paint. It's a long launch. Looks like it's on target. It might just sit a metre or so short. And in the end, through the assistance of some hands, it's gone over the line for a behind. And Redcliffe will look to bring it back in through Parker again.
I nearly thought it beat them all as we see Parker play out of the goal square, goes to the outer side looking for Tafeo, who flies from the back. Ball spills, beats everyone, and it hasn't been touched by any player. So this is going to be a free kick here to Merbein. Leckel is going to take it underneath the Coomiella Club scoreboard. Too far out to score. He's 70 metres out, so he looks to go short with the kick inside, finds Lockyer, who finds a little bit of separation from his direct opponent. And he's going to take a little bit of time off the clock. He's going to have to kick this from 55 metres out. It'll be a great kick if he can make this work, but you would think, DFAB, it's probably a little bit too far out, and he knows that he's gone inside. He's found Leckel. Leckel's got a player all by himself in Noah Hills, 30 metres out directly in front, as we can hear the Redcliffe bench at the moment yelling out, man up, and that's the exact instruction, isn't it?
Something just broke down there, because there was certainly plenty of black and yellow jumpers that were around it, but right in the middle of it was Hills all by himself, and he gets a chance in a better position. We almost thought Lockyer was going to kick from the exact same position as before, and in the end he's found a better opportunity for a teammate.
So 40 metres out directly in front, Noah Hills looking to get the second goal of the afternoon for the Pies, and it looks okay off the boot. The umpire just moves a little bit to his left hand side, and another really big opportunity going begging there for the Pies as they kick their 5th point of the afternoon. They're 1-5-11 leading Redcliffe 1 straight 6. 19.5 minutes gone on the Coomiella Club scoreboard. First quarter out here at Quandong Park. The big clash today between Redcliffe and Merbein.
So Brizzy just goes the safe option and finds a teammate just about 50 metres from the defensive goal, and another short target presents itself. So just taking it more with a safe play until Jermaine just offers a bit of candy and says, I'm going to go attack the game now, and kicks it up the wing, and looks like it's going to sit nicely there. Is that
big McGlashan
that's taken the mark, and he's on the wing, looks to get it towards Steele, who has a nice lead just outside the 50, and gets a nudge along the way from Page. So another free kick going the way of Steele. It'll be up to him to try and get it to a target inside 50. Jed Connolly presenting an option, but is weighed up there by Steele and ends up kicking it in the direction of Reed. Goes out the back of the pack, though. Can they retrieve it in the pocket in time, or was it a high? Yes, so it'll be a chance in the pocket here from Redcliffe's.
Yeah, Bo Reardon just rove that absolutely perfectly. That low body of his, he's been able to just go through and do the old Joel Selwood. Just dropped his knees perfectly, got taken high by Nate Bull. And he's going to be kicking probably about 15 metres around from the point post here, right-hand side. Redcliffe Secondary College side of the oval. He's going to look to do the banana, and if anyone can do it, it's going to be Bo Reardon. It looks good. Ooh. The boys put their hands up, and the finger goes to the crowd to salute the hill there. Bo Reardon slots through the second for Redcliffe. 2 straight 12 leading Merbein, 1-5-11 on the Kumiella Club scoreboard. Timely goal, 21 minutes gone in the first term, and gee whiz, he can do it from anywhere, Bo Reardon, can't he? He's so skillful.
Handy to have if you can kick them from as deep into the pocket as that. Really required some nicely worked kicking, but he put it on the outside of the boot, and it spun perfectly. And the Redcliffes were celebrating basically off the boot. They knew exactly where he'd hit it and what he'd done. So just around the grounds for Fatty Boomba, Robinell Euston leading 19 to South Mildura 12. So 7-point game, in that one at the moment.
Yeah, keep a close eye on that as we see the ball spill down only as far as looks like Bedford. He's immediately tackled in the centre of the ground, so the umpire will restart as the 2 number 10s go at it again. This time it's Ricks, gets a nice little left-handed tap down to Hills. Hills with a forward handball finds Bedford. Bedford kicks with the chaos ball inside 50. Leading all comers is Leckel, but he gets beaten to the ball this time by a fast finishing Alex Bell, who's immediately wrapped up and just inside the attacking 50, 40 metres out left pocket's going to be a throw up again.
Tell you what, Pete Tafay really making the right choice of when to go off his opponent as we restart. Leckel out the ruck, sits perfectly for Lockyer, who flies into the packet, takes a very nice grab, and he'll get the chance directly in front, 25 metres out.
Yeah, it was a great grab. You could just see him stalking the contest there, and once that ball went high into the that hot spot 30 metres out directly in front, you knew it was going to be his from the minute that he jumped off the ground. And again, over the top of 3 players, takes a ripper. So 30 metres out directly in front. Lockyer comes in, and can you believe it? He's missed it. And
1 goal 6.
1 goal 6, and they're just these opportunities that are going begging. Really hope that it's not going to cost them too much because they've had so much momentum. But that squares everything up. Redcliffe's 2 straight 12. Merbein 1 goal 6, 12. Nearly 23 minutes gone here on the Kumiella Club scoreboard. First term brought to you by the Euston Club Resort. Some of the best palmies in town down at the highway there at the Euston Club Resort too, DFAB.
That is what we want. It's taking a bit of time to retrieve the ball, so a few players have decided to grab a few jumpers and get involved into their opponent, but it's time to actually resume the football.
Jeez, the kids have got lazier these days, Fab. You used to have the kids all down the back of the oval sitting there chasing for this footy, but
they
didn't move off their chair at all.
It's kicked to the wing in the direction of Astafo and Scott Bedford. Bit of a foot race between them, and the boundary line was in the end the winner, and just in front of that scoreboard that is rating 1 goal 6 to Merbein, 2 straight to Redcliffe's. We'll get a throw in.
So this time doing the ruck duties, Frankel's going to go in. No, he's been pushed out of the way by Ricks, but a nice little tap behind by Ricks down to Dusha. Dusha immediately tackled, gets a handball to Hills. Hills spins his way out of trouble, gets the running handball out looking for Bedford, but he's got company there in the form of Vastafeo. So going in to help again for a second chance is Hills. Ball spills to ground, punched out of the contest there by Parker. Parker gets it back to Reardon. Reardon to Turner. Off one leg, goes to just clear it out of all the chaos, but just gives it a little bit too much, and on centre wing on the far side, out of bounds on the full, it's going to be a free kick to be taken by Kyle Stevens on the far side as he looks to reload again to give another opportunity late in the first term here to the Pies.
So Bastafeo and Scott Bedford, another of those juicy matchups in this one, is hook up, quick handball to Bedford, who has to go defensively and ends up handballing in the direction of McGlashan. Ricks tries to recover for the Pies and does nicely. He's got some support from Lamos Felton, who has got, is that Stevens, is it, that's charging through, or are we getting them mixed up again? It's kicked up the wing by Smith, and in the end kicked straight back up in the direction of Steele for Redcliffe's. Out the back is Lamos Felton, and he tries to recover through Stevens this time, and his ball towards Scott Bedford. Has he kept it in? I don't think he has. So
How many times has that gone out of bounds on the full on the far side today?
There's a bit of that happening, isn't there? Or just missing the target and bouncing over.
Well, there it is. The first term at Quandong Park sees Redcliffe's 2 straight 12, tied with Merbein, a very, very wayward 1-6. And we are going to take a break here. We're going to go back to headquarters down in the Crescent and get some fabulous words for some of our sponsors as we come back, looking for a ripping second term here at Quandong Park.
Now, potentially the most mouth-watering matchup of the game so far is Desi Tipperman-Tamuri going in against Nigel Lockyer. What a battle here. And it's been interesting as an observer from afar. Like, they're both trying to burn each other on the turnover, trying to get away from their opponent and make them pay at the other end. And what a battle it's been.
And both have probably been their best players for both sides at the moment. So, as you said, they're certainly giving each other a little bit of latitude, but at the same time doing plenty of damage themselves.
Who else did you like, DFAT?
Well, the other thing I've liked is Matt Ricks in the ruck, not just in the ruck, but he's been spoiling a few times. He's been getting involved around the ground as well. So he's certainly offering quite a bit from Merbein's perspective. But in defence for Redcliffe's, Pete DeFeo was probably one of the reasons why they weren't getting good opportunities close to goal, because he was floating off and intercepting a lot that was coming in from Merbein.
Rightio, underway second term for Club Aquarius Baronga. Here's Ben Ridley.
And that man Ricks clears it out of the contest, out wide, kicks it to a running player in Stevens as he looks to go get the ball on the second bounce, but is immediately taken in the contest by Thompson, who goes back to retrieve his own ball. Ball spills to ground. Parker on hands and knees trying to clear it out of the contest, but the umpire's going to come in and ball it up. So on centre wing on the outer side, you're going to see the first ball up of the quarter.
And it comes in the edge to McGlashan to reach from the position to the back and just jump over it in the end, but come straight down, and we'll get another restart on that far side wing. There's a bit of desperate lunges on the footy happening at the moment. Ricks with the hit out, only goes as far as Vastafeo. Bedford, though, was right on his heels. In the end, it's Parker that just kicks it out of there, and it's well weighted in the end for Kennedy, who takes the mark inside the centre square. He's going to look towards the forward 50. Reed has a nice sit. Can he get it on the second bite? Can't quite reel it in, but quick hands to Steele. He chips it in the direction of Connolly. He's got Hooker to beat. Looks towards goals. He's done it, has he? Yes, he has.
You've got to be kidding me. Tied into the pocket there on his left boot. And something out of nothing. And as we talked about the efficiency of the Tigers going forward, you can't be any more efficient than that with a very acute angle. So Redcliffe 3 straight 18 leading Merbein 1-6-12, just over 1 minute gone here on the second term. Brought to you by Club Aquarius. Goal. Big shout out to our man Johnny Hollywood. But how good was that?
Chet Connolly just had eyes for goals, and it really only took just a couple of touches inside 50 to get it to him in that dangerous spot where he knew what to do. But really well, hot start here from Redcliffe to this second quarter.
So two very, very critical goals from the boundary there by the Tigers, as we see Ricks tap it back to Jermaine, immediately tackled by Hills. So Ricks, as you said, at the moment doing some dominating work in the ruck. As Jared McGlashan goes to stand beside him, Ricks gets front position, punches it out of the contest, but only as far as Tapura Muntamuri. Hurried kick around the body, looking for Connolly. He runs through very smartly, reads the play well, gets rid of his direct opponent in Hooker, goes further down the line, looking for a leading target in Reardon. Reardon has to go back, try and recover his own ball. Spills to ground, the pack forms, going in. Noah Hills immediately tackled by a couple of Redcliffe's players. And at right half forward, attacking end here for the Tigers. It's going to be another throw up. And it's been a day of throw-ups, really, hasn't it? It's been a really contested, tight footy game.
We got Ricks against McGlashan. Ricks wins out almost only as far as Vastafeo, who almost gets it away. And Parker in the end, another clearance next to his name, and he's put it on the chest of Steele, just on the 50-metre arc. It's another well-weighted kick towards 50 from Redcliffe. They're moving it forward well, and Steele opts to just go back and take a good look at this one.
He's a big body Steele, as you can see, really making it hard work for Lee Page, who's a really high-quality defender, but once he gets that front position, he's really hard to push out of the way. And he's going to be kicking here, just on the right side here at 50. Gives himself a little bit of length, kicks. It's not going to make the distance. Pack's forming at the top of the square. Punch comes from Smith. The ball spills down, looking for McCreary and Thompson. Thompson of Redcliffe tries to get it back, but it's intercepted by Bull. Bull gets the ball intercepted out of his handball from Parker, who goes back to McCreary. A little bounce around the corner there, looking for goal as he tried to get a worm burner. But on the last line of defence is rushed through for a behind by Cooper Dodds.
As we go around the grounds for Fatty Boomba, it's a 6-point lead to Robinvale Euston. They are 25 to South Mildura 19. And a 1-point lead to Mildura, 27 to 26. In the other game, Wentworth in control, 27 to 1.
Some mouth-watering games around the region today. As we see on the scoreboard, Redcliffe 3-1-19 leading Merbein 1-6-12 on the Cumiela Club scoreboard. As the ball goes out to Lamos Felton. He goes back with a handball to Stevens. Stevens with a nice kick down the line, finds Hills, who's had a great start to the game. So right half back at the moment, Noah Hills, the captain of the Pies, looking for options. He decides to go with a short kick inside. He finds a teammate in Vinny Rohde, back from his honeymoon. As he goes with another short kick, they're measured down the line, only 20 metres further down, finds Harradine. Harradine goes with a kick, looking for a Lockyer at the top of the 50. Ball spills behind. Turner comes in to try and help, so does Bedford. As the ball spills out, really to no advantage of either side. Quick hands inside the contest at the moment are going nowhere. And it's over the boundary line, top of the 50, attacking end for the Pies.
Yep, so not a lot of space in the passage of play there from either side as we get it thrown in. McGlashan going up against Lockall on this occasion. Lockall just uses his body well, taps it into space, but it's Parker that runs onto it. He gets the handball out and just trying to get it out of trouble, but it does come back to Turner. And it looks like Redcliffe's will indeed be able to work it out. Back to Turner. His kick up the wing. It's going to go over the top of the Page and Steele contest and can still break away. He does and just throws it on the boot quickly. There's only two players inside the forward 50. It's Frankel up against Reed. Reed runs past it in the end, so Frankel recovers, but his handball sharked by Kennedy. He tries to find a teammate, but recovered well, almost by Merbein, although Rick's desperately on the deck, tries to get a fist to it to keep it moving out of trouble, and in the end, the boundary line is their friend. Yeah,
Rick's actually tripped over his own knees there while he was actually on hands and knees, so he made a mess of everything there. So left half forward, scoreboard side, boundaries throw in. Only as far as Dodds. Dodds tries to get the ball through, finds a teammate in Hooker who uses Bedford running through the middle of the ground. He goes to his brother in Trooper. Trooper has a couple to beat. Liam Nolte runs onto it nicely, gets a quick handball out looking for Tapura Muntamuri. The ball beats everybody, and it looks like it's going to be a holding the man free kick to the advantage of the veteran Booney Thompson on centre wing on the outer side. But again, nothing really presenting for him further up the ground. So he goes with a short kick at left half forward, finds Vastafeo again, not eager to move it on. So he just goes with a long kick inside 50, looking for a one-on-one contest with Reed, who's beaten to it nicely. And a mark taken there, it looks like by Frankel, who wobbly kick, tries to go across the face of goal, and it has a nice measured kick this time, finds Donahue.
Yeah, Donahue marks just inside the defensive 50-metre arc, right next to the boundary, as Merbein just taking their time to work out what the best option is. In the end, didn't quite connect with that kick. McDonald tipping Woody's the first one there. Brizzy wraps him up in a tackle, and it's going to be held up just near the interchange gates.
Jeez, it's a fair effort to get your arms around McDonald, Tip and Woody at the moment. It isn't it? My little short arms wouldn't get around. As we see interception there by Jimmy Kennedy, goes inside looking for Steele. Steele has the ball punched over the back, just sneaking in on it as Bo Reardon, but Merbein happy to see the ball go safely over the boundary line. 15 metres around from the right-hand point post, attacking end here for the Tigers. It's going to be another boundary throw-in, as it's looking ominous here. They've been, as we said, very, very clinical going inside 50.
It's thrown in. Steele's up against Rick. Steele tries to get front position, but it comes out, and it'll be Vastafeo trying to recover for the Tigers, and his handball on the deck. Look towards Reardon, and in the end it's collected by Hooker charging through, and he's tackled straight away. So we're going to ball up almost directly in front of goals, about 25 to 30 metres out.
As we see Steele this time take the ruck duties up against Ricks, taps it forward, looking for a running player in Kennedy. He tries to burst his way through, gets a handball over the top, looking for Booney Thompson. He runs onto it, he's got to do a little turnaround, goes inboard looking for Vastafeo, taps it forward, could have been taken without the ball. The umpire says no, as he trips over, lands into the hands of Rohde. Rohde clears the defensive 50 on the outer side, finds Harradine.
Harradine has the runner, and that will be Stevens, who comes around the side. He looks inboard towards Donahue, who almost takes it, but spills it in the end and has to collect with Jermaine on his heels. Charging through there. Wow. Was the Tigers player, and it's a hot footy and a lot of quick tackles being laid, as we'll get it held up just outside the centre square on that far side wing.
You're not wrong there. It's a hot footy, but Jared McGlashan just come charging through there. It was a really nice contest, but Booney Thompson unfortunately got smashed in the next one as the ball's tapped behind to Rhodey. Rhodey hurried kick only as far as Alex Bell. Immediately plays on to Jasper Turner, uses his trusty left boot down the line looking for a leading Jed Connolly, finds him safely. So on the outer wing he goes inboard, finds a running player in Thompson, doing plenty of work on the outside. As he's at left half forward, goes with a kick to the top of the 50. He makes it hard, but picking it up beautifully was Kennedy at his toes. Gives it to a running player in Parker. Parker goes inside 50, looking for Reed. Reed out in front. He has been infringed too high. And it's going to be a free kick to the leading forward as Frankel tried to do everything he could, but just at the last minute got over his shoulder. And it's going to be a free shot on goal here from Big Reed.
Yeah, and it's unlucky because it looked like Reed had just maybe overrun it, got a finger to it, and it bounced off, but he had his arms collected in the end, so Page probably, in the end, did the right thing until just connected with the arms and creates another opportunity for Redcliffe to hit the scoreboard and Reed to get involved.
He's lining up for his second goal, so we've got great view here as we're going to be right behind the ball. He gives it a nice roost. It's going to look like it's just going to go to the far side. Doesn't even make the distance in the end, and it's actually a mark taken on the line. It looks like by Frankel. So Frankel plays on across the face of goal, finds Hooker. Hooker with a short kick, has to be neat, and he finds, looks like Smith. So Smith rocking the white boots, the white hair, the white shorts. He goes short again to Hooker. So Hooker on the defensive 50 on the commentary side here at Kwandong Park. 10 minutes gone. Redcliffe still in front, 3-1-19, leading Merbein 1-6-12.
And just crossing now to the other end of the ground through Page. It's gone to Dusha, has to take it off a bounce and keeps it moving and gets it nicely weighted there to Will Hemming, who takes the mark inside the boundary. He sends it up the wing. It's the advantage of Pettit. Sits nicely for him. He's got big chase down low behind him from Parker. In the end, it gets it away, but the Tigers regain possession, and the inboard kick there to Kennedy is marked.
Was that a kick all right? I'll tell you what, that left foot there of Manzi was an absolute... That was Stewie G-like.
Yes, as Kennedy opts to go up the wing towards Steele, who's just ahead of Page, and gets the mark in front position and looks to maybe send it towards Jermaine, who's got a nice lead in, about 55 out, turns and goes quickly in towards the pocket. Jed Connolly's got a nice lead, and it's hit it straight on his chest. The Tigers just moving the ball well.
DFAB, I'll tell you what, there were 3 kicks there straight down that outer wing that were absolutely perfect, and started off with Bryce Manzi just threading the needle there, but coming in nicely there, the young fella Jermaine just found that leading target in Connolly, and that's probably as nice a passage as players that we've seen for a little while from the Tigers.
Absolutely, and we've got Connolly, who's going to be kicking out from a bit of an angle, but we'll be kicking maybe about 30 metres out. He sits it nicely to the right.
He's got it.
Swings it back, and it's perfectly done over the goal umpire's hat. Connolly just owning that pocket at the moment.
He is. That's the second goal of the term there to Jed Connolly, and the fourth of the afternoon to the Tigers, who extend their lead at Kwandong Park. 4-1-25, leading Merbein 1-6-12. Nearly 12 minutes gone here on the Kumiela Club scoreboard, and as we said, just a perfect lead up there. Great passage of play. The kicking was absolutely dynamic, and Jed Connolly just owning that far pocket, as you said, DFAB. Kicks his second of the term.
And we go around the grounds for Fatty Boomba. South Mildura with a 2-point lead, 33-31 over Robinvale Euston, and Owen United over the top place side Mildura, 32, leading them 27. So a couple of interesting scorelines there.
No, really good game to keep an eye on down there. As you said, top of the table clash between the Kangas and also the D's, as it's a free kick taken out of the middle of the ground. So Scott Bedford, he's going to be kicking out of the centre circle. He's been told to play on, goes to the outside, has a teammate in Pettit. Hits his chest. At right half forward, he elects to play on around the man on the mark. Goes tight into the boundary, looking for McDonald Tippermutti. Ball's punched from behind. Players run onto it, including that man, McDonald Tippermutti. Lands in the hands of Harradine. Could have been caught holding the ball. Umpire says no. As the handball comes to a running player on the outside in Bell. Bell clears out of 50. He's looking for a couple of players, as it looks like Steele was pushed into it, but it lands into the hands of Hemming. Hemming has his ball smothered off the boot, and it's going to go over the boundary line and for another boundary throw in on the outer side. Right half forward pocket here, 60 metres out from Merbein's goal. going to see another boundary throw in.
Yeah, no, not a lot of space in a few of the contests there. Harradine just got that handball away, and a few moments there where players had to be quick. Frankel with the hit out, Vastafao, but in the end, Will Hemming gets it and just throws it on the boot into the forward 50. Big pack around it though. Pete Tafao gets a hand to it, as looks like might have been Trooper Bedford also getting a handball away, but it sort of just scrums its way out of the 50 there from the Redcliffe defenders. And it's held up about 60 out.
He played for it. He played for it, and the umpire's been sucked into it. As he dropped down on his knees, grabbed his head before he even got tackled, but the umpire said either way it's going to be a free kick right half forward. He loads up, going inside 50, looking for Harradine. Tries to jump over everyone in the contest, spills down to the big man in Ashton Gowers, who's immediately tackled. So right forward pocket in the attacking 50 here for the Pies. Another throw up.
Goes up, and Harradine with the hit out to the bottom of the pack, and it looks like there's just going to be stacks on straight away with Dusha on top, and it'll get another quick restart in that dangerous position in the forward pocket for the Pies. Looks like Gowers has gotten a hand to it out of the restart, but doesn't get very far. So another stoppage in that forward pocket where there's a lot of players around the footy at the moment. It goes again. Looks like Harradine might have got a good hand to that, but it comes out to Steele, who's pushed up, and he's taken quickly.
Big tackle there on the big fella in Steele, who's a long way from home, but as we can see, huge pack forming here in the pocket here, so really difficult for either side to be able to get a clear ball out. As we see Frankel get front position, taps it down to, again, 20 players who are at the bottom of his feet, and really nothing happening. Jimmy Kennedy finally gets the ball onto boot, clears it down to the wing, pushed out of the contest. Surely it was Jack Steele. And Lee Page at the moment starting to get a little bit frustrated. He's getting the run around here by Steele. He's getting him right up the ground. Steele plays on inside, finds a player in Connolly. Connolly goes inboard. Not a great kick, intercepted by Dusha. So in the corridor, Dusha has the ball. He's been asked to play on, so he has to go with a wobbly kick inside with his left boot. But coming from behind is Nigel Lockyer, who takes a great grab over the top of Tapura Muntamuri and read it perfectly. And it was that wobbly ball coming inside there by Dusha that had a few of the guys bamboozled, but not Lockyer, as he's going to be kicking 45 metres out directly in front. And surely this time we can see one go through the big two sticks.
Yes, Lockyer comes in just inside 50. He starts it nicely. Is it going to stay? There it is. It sails through. So Lockyer with a much needed goal for the Pies, and it's their second of the afternoon. But just relieves a bit of pressure, doesn't it?
Just a little bit of pressure there, as we said, being Wayward in front of goals. That puts Redcliffe 4-1-25 in front of Merbein, 2-6-18, 16 minutes gone on the Kumiela Club scoreboard in this mouthwatering game, second term at Quandong Park between Redcliffe and the Merbein Football Netball Club. But that was an opportunity they really needed to take advantage of there, DFAB, and Lockyer was right up for it. And it took a big kick. I mean, he was virtually kicking from 50 there, but never looked like missing at all.
As we restart in the middle, big leap from Gowers over his corresponding number 10, and he's the one who ends up roving it through the hands of Jed Connolly, although it's stolen away by Stevens, who finds Ricks, and he looks towards the wing. Can Lamos Felton run onto it? That's the idea. He does collect it and gets the quick hands towards Ackers, although it just falls at his feet, so has to do a bit of work to recover, and in the end, that is what leads it towards the boundary line. We're going to throw in on the far side wing.
Talking about stats, Maxie, I reckon if you can keep an eye out there for us, tell us how many orange boots are out there at the moment. I reckon there'd be a fair stat out there for the orange boots. They look like the old orange stack helmets that we used to wear as kids. As the ball spills down to Hemming, inboard handball, running Dusha, kicks with a left foot wobbly kick, really to no advantage of anyone. The mark taken by Manzi, but he plays on probably when he shouldn't have. Goes with a wobbly kick outside of the defensive 50. Nolte gets good position. Handball inboard to Paddy Connolly. Paddy Connolly looking for Jed Connolly. Jared McGlashan comes in smartly, taps it back to Connolly, who's got pressure straight away. Cooper Jermaine could have been taken high, shrugs the tackle. Goes inboard, but it's cut off by McDonald Tipamorty, who goes with a kick inside 50, looking for Leckel. One out, coming through with absolute courage was Tapura Muntamuri. Should have been called a free kick there. The umpire had the whistle in the mouth and at the last minute pulled it out, but Gee, it looked like he was grabbed around the neck. That was a WWE move.
Yeah.
Richie Rod would have loved that.
He's caught in the middle of it all, wasn't he? But anyway, it's thrown in the forward pocket for Merbein. Lockall's contesting the ruck, although it was front position that won out and kicked out of danger, but to put a man to Murray for the Tigers. Does it sit for Stevens? It does eventually, and he turns and goes the other way and looks. He's got a man in a bit of space, just about 50 metres out. That's Pettit. Roddy's presenting for him. And in the end, kick towards the pocket for the lead of Harradine off his hands. Though snap out of traffic there. They like the look of it off the boot. But it's just another behind in the Merbein column. And it was Will Hemming getting his hands on and boot onto that one.
Yeah, perfect roving position, front and centre, got right underneath the nose of Harradine, and as a small forward, that's exactly where you want the guys to be, and would have been a great goal because he kicked from the outside of the boot, but just missed to the near side, as we see. Antonio Brizzi runs it out of the defensive goal square, goes to the hill side of the oval looking for a leading mark and steal, and he's starting to cause a few headaches at the moment for Page. He's further up the ground than he's used to as he goes with a short kick down the line. He finds Paddy Connolly again, tricking us all with the number 63 today. So right half back in front of the hill, getting plenty of instruction from all the supporters there. Goes with a nice kick down the line, looking for a leading mark by McGlashan, the only one who ever looked like he was going to get it. He's trying to call his players in the forward line up. He sells a bit of candy. Oh, the crowd loves it. He goes inboard, looking for Reid. Reid has the ball punched from behind, but Nolte's there to help. Reid goes back, recovers from the footy, spins around, goes to the top of the square, looking for a flying mark from Connolly. He's got two to beat. Over the back is Hemming, and he just boots it, clearing out of the defensive 50, but he's got a couple of Tigers there that are onto it straight away. Handball goes back to Jermaine. Jermaine has it intercepted by Lamont Felton, and he's been caught holding... it's a high tackle.
Yep.
On the outside centre wing, it's going to be a free kick to Cooper Jermaine.
And they won't pay the advantage, so the Tigers will have to come back a bit, and it'll give Merbein a chance to set up defensively, as it looks like it'll be... What's happening here is it's still going back again, so Jermaine tried to maybe move it a bit quickly, but hadn't gone back in line with the man on the mark. So
did you see the bloke in the corner there, the little kid doing the backflips on the other side of the ground?
A bit of acrobatics work going on.
Commonwealth Games. A
bit of gymnastics as Connolly weaves through traffic there and sends it forward, but Ricks is in the spot for Merbein and chops that forward foray off.
No, great defensive positioning there by the ruckman as he goes long down the line, but really to no advantage as the ball spills out of the hands of Manzi. Back to Gowers. Gowers gives a handball to the running Jermaine. Jermaine gives it again inboard. This time Manzi's going to load up, looking for Reid out in front. Takes a good grab. The umpire says it's going to be a free kick. He's gone over the shoulder there. Not much more Nate Bull could have done. The positioning was perfect by Big Reid. The kick was perfect by young Manzi. Just out in front, very hard to stop. And that's where the big key forwards make their money, after you get a couple of earwaxes there by a big bloke like Nate Bull, and he's got the handcuffs. He's a copper.
Yeah,
and he's going to make it.
Yeah, Bull's been right hot on him, which is good, but obviously just a little too hot on that occasion. And now Reid will get the chance. He's lining up for the snap. He sends it. Nicely done here, but he bets it too much. He bets it perfectly. Reid has read it well.
God, what is happening in these pockets out here at Redcliffe? They are absolutely loving it between Beau Reid and Jake Reid and Jed Connolly. They are kicking goals from absolutely nowhere, and what a kick there by Reid. Just gives a little bit of breathing space to the Tigers. 21 and a half minutes gone out here at Quandong Park. Cumula Club scoreboard. Redcliffe 5-1, accurate kicking 31, leading the inaccurate Merbein 2-7-19. But that was a great goal there by Big Jake Reid. Really tight inside on that pocket.
If you're kicking goals like that, it really does hurt the opponents if they're kicking 2 goals 7. So we restart it in the middle. The 2 number 10s contest again. It's nicely done by Gowers. McCreary's pushed up, and Bedford wraps him up in a tackle right in the middle of the ground, and we'll get another restart right in the middle.
Yeah, they've had to get McCreary into the game as he gets into the middle. There's 2 number 10s again go for it. The second tap goes from Ricks. Immediately tackled there was Bedford, and it's a holding the ball by that man McCreary. Gee, he racked him up nicely. He immediately plays on in the centre of the ground with a nice measure kick to centre half forward. Leading target is McGlashan. He spins back around, looking to reload back again inside the attacking 50. Another late goal here to the Tigers to be perfect. It's a worm burner going down to the bottom there. Nicely with Steele. Steele with a kick up and under. Goes nowhere, so it's punched by him. Only as far as Lamont Felton. He goes with a rush kick outside of the defensive 50. Bedford comes in to help. Got a running player in Hills on the outside. Gets a looping handball out to him, but he's got Jasper Turner there right on his hammer. A great handball. Could have been caught holding the ball, but it spills to Nolte. Nolte with a little kick forward looking for Vastafeo, but intercepted by Bedford, but immediately tackled by Tafeo, and at left half forward attacking end for the Tigers. There'll be another throw-up. And the Tigers would like another late one here going into half-time.
They certainly would, as Merbein tried to stop that from happening. It's Vastafeo charging in at the bottom of the contest, who will get wrapped up again by Bedford. They're never too far away from each other in this game, and we'll get another restart in front of that scoreboard, which right now is looking very favourable for the home team. Rick's front position just decides to grab it himself. Quick hands through to Rhodey, who throws it on the boot, and it goes, bounces towards McDonald Tip and Woody, past him to Lockyer. Lockyer just decides to go for a bit of a run, sends it to the one-on-one contest, which is Lockle up against Bell. Bell's under a bit of pressure. Can Lockle use his feet? Well, yes, he the foot out and soccers it through. Wow, the big man with some small forward skills there to just make the most of what was offered to him in the end.
Yeah, well, as we said, that they both went back to run for that ball going back onto the line, and overrun was Alex Bell. He's left the ball behind and he's gone back to try and tackle Leckel, and he's just a little toe poke forward, and something out of nothing gives Merbein their third of the afternoon, and it gets them back within a goal here late in the second term. So the Coomiella Club scoreboard, Merbein 3-7-25. Trailing Redcliffe's 5-1-31. We think 24 minutes gone. There's not much time, you would think, in this second term. And a much-needed goal there by the Pies just to keep pace.
Around the grounds for Fatty Boomba. 2-point lead to South Mildura, 40-38. Not much in that, but Owen United, a bit of a buffer against Mildura, 46-29.
And reload into the centre of the ground. McCreary could have been pushed in the back. Umpire says no. So Tafeo and Rhodey go in to try and get the clearing ball out of the centre of the ground on hands and knees. Tusha only gets it as far as Turner. Turner on his opposite right. Goes with a kick. Centre wing leading the race there was Jed Connolly. And he's been really good this quarter with 2 goals and 2 great goals as well. But on centre wing, there's going to be another boundary throw in. The 2 number 10s go for it again. Ricks and Gowers. Been a really good display here by Ricks, the veteran, as he gets a nice little tap down to Rhodey. Could have been caught without the ball. The umpire says yes. So Rhodey, as we said, just come back from his honeymoon only yesterday. He's my next door neighbour and I could hear him snoring. I thought it was the washing machine, but he was tired.
As just a short ball there makes Dusha work for it, but gets the 1-2 back, does Rhodey, and weaves through traffic. Low darting the ball inside 50, but the loose man favoured the Tigers. It was Bell, and he gets a handball out to Puamantamuri, but he's wrapped up by McDonald, Tip and Woody. We had some tipper-on-tipper action there. But the ball in the end is chopped off by Gowers, who goes through Brizzy, who goes to Turner, and he gets the kick out towards Donnelly, the Paddy Connolly, that is, and the boundary line is where it ends up, so we're going to throw in on that far side wing and out of danger for Redcliffe's.
So just only a couple. Well, there we go. And that's it, half-time at Quandong Park, and on the Coomiella Club scoreboard, Redcliffe's 5-1-31 leading Merbein 3-7-25. A very, very good quarter there to watch and call. As we're going to take some messages back at the headquarters DFAB. We're going to come back for a big second term out here at Quandong Park, thanks to Colliantini First National.
I think the other player I wanted to mention as well was Brizzy playing on Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody. For
yeah.
Did I read right that it's his 100th senior game?
Oh, look, it could be.
I saw that during the week. It's been going for a long time. I was a bit surprised.
He's had injuries.
Yeah, he has. Went to Melbourne for a little while as well. Yep. He's been fantastic. I remember during our run in the mid-2000s, he was incredibly crucial, and to be honest, I think it was, I can't remember which year it was now, but one of those years without Brizzy, I can categorically tell you we probably wouldn't have won him, because his lockdown jobs are as good as anybody. And as you mentioned, DFAB doing that job today on tip-up, because he gives nothing and he's proud, So 100 games, if that is the case for Briz, big shout out to him. He's done a fantastic job. Oh, thank you. David Henson's come up with some drinks. I'll tell you what, and a fit-looking unit, David Henson, these days, isn't he? He's just looking fantastic. But I think that's the big thing. DFAB, you're coaching Redcliffe's. What do you do going into the second half? They're in front probably miraculously by some miraculous goals. They would probably feel as though they probably need to do a little bit more in the second half to be able to make sure they can run away with it.
Yeah, I think it's about staying on top of those key forwards for Merbein, that the ones that can really hurt you on the scoreboard, and also really making sure that if it is Bedford that maybe pushes forward a bit more, because he's sort of the wild card. They've got the three that are right at the top of the goal kicking list, and then there's a bit of a gap, but Bedford's fourth, and that's for a midfielder that's just pushing forward every now and again. So they need to make sure that those four don't get out of control.
I guess, Riddles, they'll just be keen to keep it clean and keep it tidy. We've seen their use of the footy been pretty good today, and that's been always a little bit of a knock on them, even this season. So today they've really got that in shape. So if they can continue just to use the footy well, be smart to transition out of defence, well, then it's theirs there for the victory, isn't it?
It's a weird game in the fact that, Reckless are leading. They've been leading by a couple of goals for most of the game. They've had really clean ball use and their passages of play have been really nice, but you still feel as though that Merbein have been on top for most of the game. It's an odd sort of...
It's a bit like the World Cup isn't over in my mind. It's a bit like one of those games where one team dominates the possession.
No,
yes.
They wanted a rematch.
Of course they did.
Might as well. But yeah, one team's dominating possession, but the other side, when they have it, is just finding the right targets, putting it in the right spot. So it's a bit of that going on, a bit of an arm wrestle.
Might just get you to grab the phone out there, DFAB, and give us some around-the-ground action for Fatty Boomba here at half-time. Score at Quandong Park is the Tigers 5-1-31, leading Merbein at 3-7-25. Both clubs are back out of the sheds and just going through their routines as we get set for the siren.
And in the game that we're most keeping an eye on, it's South Mildura 6-4-40, leading Robinvale Euston 6-3-39. So 1 point game there. Interestingly, with the top players team, Mildura, they're behind by 22 points. Owen United 8-4-52, leading Mildura 4-6-30. And then in the other game, down the other end of the ladder, we've got Imperials 2-3-15, trailing Wentworth 5-6-36.
Battle of attrition down there at number 3. They're both just absolutely ravaged with injuries, aren't they?
They are. And, South Mildura, if they don't make it, have had a fair old crack in the back end of the season. They only just missed out by Tally-Ho last week. 2 strong efforts before that. They're certainly coming home hard. But, it's a big mountain to climb. But today's game is crucial, isn't it?
It's a ripper. And, as you said, just for the totality of the season, because, as you mentioned earlier, if Robinvale do lose here, then they both sort of slip back to the pack. But weirdly enough, it still gives South Mildura a bit of a chance, but really intriguing ramifications. But also down the road and down the to Blackburn Park, Mildura coming into the back end of the year with some injuries. That's got to be a concern for them, and this could be a real confidence booster for the Kangas leading into the next few weeks.
Absolutely, yeah. Mildura, they will want to go into finals with form, even though they've probably got top spot sewn away. You wouldn't want to be losing a couple in the lead up to finals.
You say that, though, and if they drop today and then Merbein win, it's only just the game difference between first and second. So it's not necessarily a sealed deal for the Ds if they happen to drop 2 or 3 of their last games heading into the major round. Have you got a bit of a live ladder for us to tap into?
I've actually neglected to update it, so we'll get that sorted in the next couple of minutes.
But I'll tell you what, it's interesting around town. Everyone's asking about this season. Who do you think's going to come away with the flag? Who's going to be finishing top of the table? And I've never had so much conversation with just general people about footy this season. And even the old stalwarts caught up with the great man Timmy Leng yesterday for a quick coffee. And, coming from a Leng, he's saying this is probably the greatest season that he's been able to remember in his time. I think that's the common thread. We've just been incredibly blessed with what's happening on the field this year.
And I think what's been really exciting, it's clubs like Merbein and South Mildura really coming back. Redcliffe's really, mounting a fair case to play finals footy, which they certainly, in the case of the Pies, have been unable to do so for such a long time. So that's really brought some excitement to the competition, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is. And excitement is what we're expecting here in the second half here at Quandong Park, as we see getting into the third quarter here at Quandong Park DFAB. It's going to be a fantastic second half, you would imagine, if it's going to go in the same vein as the first half. As we see the umpires, they throw their hands up. And we get started here in the second term as the ball spills down to Parker. Hands and knees, tries to clear it out, gets a handball back to Vastafeo. Around the side of the boot, goes to centre half forward. Interception there by Stevens as the ball spills back into the hands of Jimmy Kennedy. Intercepted by Noah Hills with a kick handball over the top, looking for a teammate in Page who's trying to get the ball out. But it's a clearing kick by McCreary, inside 50, running back there. is Hooker. Hooker's got McGlashan for company as he tries to paddle his way towards the boundary line. Ball intercepted by Bo Reardon. And in the left forward pocket, the first reload of the half is going to be at the attacking end of the Tigers.
Yep, so looking dangerous already in this quarter, the Tigers. It's thrown in, and looks like Rick with front position will suit him, although Kennedy's lurking to try and collect it in that pocket. He was ready to go on with it. In fact, he's now right at the back of one of the utes. He's run that far. But it'll get thrown in again in this dangerous position inside the Redcliffe's forward 50. And it's launched in towards Ricks and McGlashan. Ricks again with front position, though McGlashan gets there eventually and taps it, and it spills out to Steele. There's a whistle blown, though. There was a hold off the ball. Is that going the way of Kennedy?
It is.
Lemos Felton there protest, but bit of a chance here from Kennedy. It's a slight angle, but we're looking at what? He'll be kicking from about 40 metres out.
Yeah, and he's a beautiful kick of the ball, Jimmy Kennedy, so you'd think that he's going to make him pay at the moment. But we didn't get the stats at half-time on these orange boots, as we can see plenty around the contest at the moment. So we need to make sure we get back to Max the Axe there to figure out what is going on out there. But Jimmy Kennedy, we're only a minute and a half in, lining up for the first goal of the second half. We're right behind a perfect position, probably pushed it a little bit too far to the right, and it does sail through for a behind. So Redcliffe's 5-2-32 leading Merbein 3-7-25 on the Cumula Club scoreboard. 2 minutes gone in the second term between Merbein and Redcliffe at Quandong Park.
Walker to bring it in, and in the end, Rhodey was in a dangerous spot because Parker was coming charging in. His handball, though, almost goes to Page. Reed gets a piece of it. Back now to Parker. Again, tackled by Rhodey. So they've been involved in this contest early. Whistle's blown. It's going the way of Rhodey. Free kick off half-back.
Nice smart tackle there by Rhodey as he uses the running player inboard in Dodds. Dodds runs through the middle of the corridor. Goes long down centre-half forward looking for a leading Leckel. He's got three players to beat, but the Redcliffe players all run into each other. Leckel coming in from behind. Takes out about three Redcliffe players at ground level at the same time. At centre-half forward, we're going to see another ball up. Leckel nominates this time. He goes against young Gowers. He gets front position, back to Hand. Hand with a hurried kick out of the contest, just looking for the boundary. Leading all comers is Paddy Connolly. Does really well there against his direct opponent in Stevens, but it beats them both. It's going to be a boundary throw-in commentary side here at Quandong Park, right under our noses here.
So we had a question at half-time about the live ladder. Interestingly enough, Redcliffe's leading by 6 points is enough to put them ahead of Irimple on percentage. So Irimple obviously have the bye today as we restart on the wing. Hills gets a handball out to Donahue. He just slaps it on the boot towards McDonald. Tippin Woody, who's got Lockyer. Quick ball movement there and kick inside towards Dusha. Can he juggle it ahead of McCreary? In the end, he just couldn't quite reel it in, and McCreary held his feet, is able to recover. Lobs for the short target, but can't quite hit it. So Dusha scrambling to recover the possession for Merbein, but the boundary line beats everyone in the end. We're going to get a throw in the forward pocket.
Yeah, just dropped at the crucial time there for Nolte. So left back pocket attacking end here for the Pies. The boundary reload comes in. Leckel this time gets front position, takes it out of the contest, spins out, gives a running handball to Lockyer, who goes in on his right boot. And that is Bedford, not Lockyer, as he runs into an open goal. And a much-needed goal there by Merbein, now only 1 point behind, 4-2-32. Redcliffe's leading Merbein 4-7-31. 4 minutes gone here on the Cumula Club scoreboard in this crucial third term. Thanks to Pioneer forward down the highway. Benny Rogers and the team down there doing great things. And might get me Ranger down there next time, I reckon. Silko, he's a good man, Benny. But, gee, that was really well done there by Lockyer and Leckel with a nice handball there to the running Bedford.
Yeah, putting the Redcliffe defenders under a bit of pressure early in this quarter, and just really with a bit of space with some of their quality players, they don't require much. And we did speak about Bedford at halftime as someone that could come into the game as far as getting a goal or two as required. As we're back in the middle for the restart, and it's going to be Ricks lining up with the black boots and the pulled up socks, which is a good combination to see. Ricks goes over the back of his head, and it sits for Hills, who goes out to Hemming on the wing. Hemming's ball, he's got a target there, and Trooper Bedford with a bit of separation and keeps it moving quickly. Although Scott Bedford, the handball to him, didn't quite have enough on it. Trooper recovers nicely with a nice snap there to Will Hemming. He sends it towards Lockyer, and that match up against Tapua Mantamuri, who gets a hand to it and still gets a second hand to it. Not enough, though, to wrap it up, and it spills out the back to Lockyer, just threw it on the boot. But it comes off the side, and it's going to sit for McCreary, you think. Well, it's off his chest. McDonald Tippin Woody gets it. Trooper Bedford almost interrupts it. But it looks like it's a poor Manta Murray with the clearing bowl up the wing.
End of the contest forms out on a wing as Jared McGlashan has 4 pies to beat. The ball spills back to Donahue. Donahue's got players inboard, uses Bedford, but it's a wobbly kick, so he's got to make it look perfect. He was very laconic there in the middle of the ground. Thought he was going to get around Tafeo much easier than he did, and in fact didn't get around him as Tafeo takes a free kick, goes long down the line looking for Reardon, who's caught behind, and definitely a free kick against Reardon. As Cooper Dodds does some really good body work. So at left half back, he goes inboard. And he finds at centre half back Noah Hills, who's going to go further across the ground and kicks it to the commentary side where he finds Bull. Bull uses a running player in Rhodey. Rhodey goes with a nice short kick, makes hard work for Dusha, who's got to bend down, and the 40-year-old doesn't like that as he goes back in to try and get the ball. Rhodey, but immediately tackled. So McCreary, handball back to Smith. Smith with a short kick. It had to work perfectly, and it did for Tafeo.
He crosses to the far side where Tapua Manta Murray's there to mark, and he quickly goes for a long kick up the wing to the man in space there in McGlashan. And McGlashan will just keep it moving to Steele, who marks ahead of Page and plays on quickly. So 2 kicks and they're inside 50 now, the Tigers. It's collected there by Reardon. He breaks free of his opponent in Dodds, snaps towards the goals. That would be a good one, but too much on it in the end, just the behind.
He had to use that big butt to shake off a couple of would-be tacklers there, Bo Reardon, but as we said, we saw him do that in the first quarter, kick a nice banana kick this time just to the near side as the ball goes in board here. So at left back pocket, Hemming goes with a short kick to a running player in Bull, but it beats him. He's going to make hard work. He runs into a brick wall in McCreary, but he was quick enough to get a handball inboard to Hills, who tries to go into the corridor, intercepted by Tapua Manta Murray. He goes to his left foot. He finds Smith. So at left half forward, Smith starts to weigh up his options. This is where they've been falling down, the Tigers, in the second half. He kicks towards the pocket, looking for Reid, who gets great positioning at the back of the contest. Pleading his case was Bull for a push in the back, but it certainly wasn't. It was just a really nice use of the body and the hips there by Reid. And he's going to be kicking here on the hillside at Kwantong Park, probably about 5-6 metres inboard from the boundary line, right on 50. So a little bit of an angle, but we've seen him do a lot harder shots on goal, DFAB, and they'll certainly want this one to get themselves back in momentum for the second half.
They will. So Reid comes in. He'll be just inside the 50-metre arc when he kicks it. He's mid-run up now, launches it. It starts on the left goal post and swerves perfectly through the goals for Reid, who's having an impact on this contest.
That's the third of the afternoon to Jake Reid as he extends the lead here for the Tigers. 6-3-39 on the Kumiella Club scoreboard, leading Merbein 4-7-31. 8.5 minutes gone in this crucial third term, brought to you by Pioneer Ford in Robinvale. But around the grounds, what have we got happening, DFAB?
Just getting a quick update. So Oyen United 64, leading Mildura 30. So more than 5-goal margin there. And the Eagles have hit the front. They are 46 over South Mildura 41.
Real seesawing affair out at the precinct as the ball spills out to Hills. Hills clears it out of the centre of the ground. Tipper Moody McDonald and Brizzy in a running race as it's tapped perfectly by McDonald. Tipper Moody looking for Lockyer, who pushed his direct opponent out of the way smartly. Handballs back to McDonald. Tipper Moody. It's a ground burner. Goes into Leckel. Leckel shrugs off a couple of tackles. Kicks around the corner. And on the last line of defence, saving a would-be goal there was Peter Tafeo. And gee whiz, he's just owns that back line, doesn't he, Pete Tafeo?
He's been filling the spots, hasn't he? And it was good collect from Lockwell as well in a low position to collect the footy and turn and look for goal. But yeah, Pete Tafeo has been chopping everything off as the Tigers through Brizzy, looking towards Gowers, trying getting it
what was he doing?
Up that wing, and a bit of fire play there with Manzi and Bedford. So it's over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Yeah, so the two Bedford boys going in to try and out-muscle Manzi. Umpire throws it in. Front position this time goes to Gowers. Gets it down to Kennedy. Kennedy runs on. Takes on a couple of players. Gets a quick handball out. And very, very smartly done by Kennedy. He got the handball out just in time there. Cole Stevens still thought he had control of it. Tackled and got called holding the ball. So short kick down the line finds Connolly. Right in front of the Redcliffe coach's box, and that's one of the worst kicks you've ever seen him do, as he goes further down the line with an inside-outside talk that was unintentional, but gets a little bit of extra distance, 30 metres down the line, and left half forward here on the hillside of Quandong Park, there'll be another throw-in.
Meters gained was the goal there as it comes in and taken with 2 hands by Ricks and gets it quickly to a teammate who kicks it up the wing. Kennedy arrives though for the Tigers and quickly runs through traffic, finds Parker, sells the candy, turns the other way, sends it inside 50. Is there enough for a mark? There is. Reid will get another shot at goal.
Take a bow, Jack Parker. What an inside-out turn there on a dime. He made Benny Dusha look slow there, and that's hard to do. And it was a beautiful kick there, but a perfect lead there from Jake Reid. And from nearly the same position as where he kicked that goal only a couple of minutes ago, he's going to be lining up for his 4th of the afternoon.
So Reid is really ending up in a similar spot to the last goal, so maybe just a bit more angle and a bit closer to goal, but not by too much. Comes in to add to his tally. He's got 1 in each quarter in this one. Can this be goal number 4? Starts at left, it swerves again. Another one for Reid.
And it's the inside-outside. It's the old Tom Hawkins where he's just gone left to right. That one there started from the left-hand point post and has gone straight through the middle. And it's the old cricket outswinger that's coming in there. But that's his 4th of the afternoon as Jake Reid is really stamping his authority on the game. And Redcliffe extend their lead here deep in, midway through the 3rd term. Redcliffe 7-3-45, leading Merbein 4-8-32 on the Kumiella Club scoreboard. And a much-needed goal there again by the Tigers just to get that breathing room. So the ball beats everyone. Punched out of the contest by Frankel, running onto it was Pettit. Tries to barge his way through the contest. The centre-half forward has help from Frankel, but his kick out of the contest goes only as far as Booney Thompson. Centre-half back, he's going to look to go wide. He's got a player there in Jermaine. He uses him. And on the scoreboard side, he goes again. Short measured kick this time to Nolte. Nolte presents nicely. They're a little bit measured here. They're not trying to waste any ball. So he goes down the line with a nice left foot kick looking for Steele. But going in front of the contest as Parker immediately plays onto a running player in Thompson who goes with a spearing kick looking for Reid. Punch from behind, but rode perfectly from Vastafeo. He can run onto the open ball. He juggles what he should have taken. He goes back, looks for Jasper Turner off 1 foot, uses his left foot and kicks it straight through the middle, and the halfback flanker gets on the scoreboard, and isn't he happy about that? And that is another crucial goal for the Tigers here. 13 minutes gone in the 3rd term, and Redcliffe are 8-3-51, leading Merbein 4-8-32. And a really good setup there from Booney Thompson, who had a couple of goes at the contest. Yep. And Jasper Turner, have a look at him. He's high-fiving anyone who'll ask.
Off a step, and now got the long walk back to the back line from pushing up for that one. As we go around the grounds for Fatty Boomber, it's now a 10-point lead to Romvale Euston, 52-42 South Mildura. So it's going to be one to keep an eye on. The Eagles have just got a bit of separation in that as been close all afternoon.
So tap down from McGlashan, goes back to Frankel. Frankel goes out of the contest with his left foot. At left half forward, leading all comers is Lockyer. Lockyer with a hurried kick around the corner. Harradine has to go down and bend up. Roving perfectly was Rhodey. Rhodey goes with a short kick looking for McDonald. Tippermoody one out, but he's beaten. And he's going to get a free kick against Bell for a holding. And gee whiz, that's a very touchy free kick there. But either way, McDonald Tippermoody, who hasn't really had much influence on the game at all today, is going to be kicking pretty much directly in front, 20 metres out for his 1st of the afternoon.
So Anthony McDonald Tippermoody, what a time it would be to kick his 1st of the afternoon from a Merbein perspective.
He missed as he pulled it back.
Just behind. That was definitely gettable range. That was very close to goal, and you wouldn't expect him to miss it.
Isn't that the story of the day?
What's happened? Yeah.
Absolute story of the day. So, as we said, pretty much no angle at all. Sees Tippermoody McDonald miss it. Jasper Turner, the previous goal kicker, clearing kick out of defence, goes looking for Steele.
Oh, nice pack mark.
Strong grab, as you said, pack mark, 3rd in line. He's doing some really good things. Goes inboard, finds Jermaine. Doesn't get any extra length down the ground. Jermaine looks to switch the ball to the commentary side. It's got to work perfect, and it does. Standing bravely was Manzi, but he's still in defensive 50. So he plays on, but really nothing happening. So he goes with a short measured kick looking for Nolte, but over the back is Stevens. Handball inboard to Lockyer. Lockyer with a spearing kick, looks inboard, inside 50 and finds Akis. And it was that quick ball movement back inside 50 that caught Redcliffe on the hop. And Akis is going to be the recipient, kicking 35 metres out on a slight angle. And gee whiz, do they need this one here, Deepak?
Yep, really nice foresight there from Lockyer to just know where to put it. And Ackers with an opportunity to get this much-needed goal and halts some of Redcliffe's momentum. Starts it right, and it's going to stay right. So just another behind in the Merbein tally, which is now in double figures. It's ticking over, isn't it?
It's a worry, and I know what Coach Damien Hall will be working on Tuesday, Thursday night next week is Tafeo clearing kick out of defence to the outer side, looking for Steele. Steele beaten to the contest by Page, but somehow falls back into his hands. Goes forward, picked up perfectly by Jared McGlashan, uses the runner inboard in Bernie Thompson. Goes with a short kick, finds Reardon. Nice little leap there from Reardon, a centre-half forward. Immediately plays on with a short kick, looking for the leading target in Reed, and hits him on the chest. And Reed having a day out, lining up for his 5th of the afternoon. 40 metres out directly in front. Beautiful passage of play by the Tigers and just transition perfect.
What's impressive about their the ball movement being so accurate is that it's fast ball movement too. It's not like they're taking their time, they're moving it quickly. So we see coming in now to extend this lead. What has Reed got on this one? He's kicked it, got the distance covered, but it goes off to the right and just a behind from that one. But Redcliffe's certainly looking threatening, aren't they?
They really are peppering, and as we said, that fast transition from defence to forward, but that outswinger there, not the one that we needed from Reed. He just needed to go straight down the middle and look for middle stump, but going out of defence, Angus Smith tries to run through a web of players. He goes further back, handballs it to Hooker. Hooker this time switches to the outside, looking for Bedford. It hits his toes. But he's good enough to be able to collect it on the second grab. Goes down the line looking for Harradine. Bursts his way through the contest. Handball outside to the runner was a little bit hot for Lamos Felton. But he's quickly back onto it. Goes with a wobbly kick to the top of the 50 looking for McDonald Tippermuddy, who's leading the running race, but it beats them all. And right on the tip of the 50 on the outer side is going to be another boundary throw in here, attacking end for the Pies. And 17 and a half minutes gone. They're trailing by 18 points. They're going to want to get a quick one here, you'd think, DFAB.
Yep, can Merbein get anything out of this? It's thrown in 50 metres from their goal. Lockle had a nice sit and gets it there to Scott Bedford, and kicks it towards Lockyer. Almost that. Had a very large chunk of it, but Tuamanta Murray is able to get the kick away in the end. It's only gone it's gone to Dusha, and it's snapped straight back inside 50. It's going to be another opportunity for Tuamanta Murray to fly into the pack. It spills down at the front, though, and Ackers is involved again in that forward 50, but Tigers look like they're going to work it out of danger, and Grizzy with the calm head just launches it up the wing, and he's got a lead of Steele, who has one of how many marks he's taken on the wing today, and he plays on quickly yet again. It only takes a couple of kicks for Redcliffe to get it inside 50 once more, although it looks like Hooker's got the better of Astafao in that one-on-one. It's kicked out of there as far as it was like Paddy Connolly. That's a bit of follow-up work there, a few around the contest, although Merbein's in the end able to work it out of danger, and they'll go inboard to Rhodey.
So Rhodey in the centre of the ground. He's got a player on the outside. He uses him. That's Stevens. He's got a little bit of time to be able to make the decision. So he goes further afield looking for a leading Dusha. Dusha gets the perfect bounce, gets a handball to a running player again in Rhodey, who picks it up from his shoelaces, goes with a wobbly kick in board, and it's a horrible kick cut off by Bell. Bell immediately plays on, has to thread the eye of the needle to find Turner. He does. Turner goes wide towards the boundary in Jermaine. So Jermaine with a nice kick looking for the corridor and Gowers. And Gowers takes a good juggling mark. He had a bit of pressure there from Donahue. So Gowers plays on quickly looking for a leading McCreary in the corridor, but there's three players there, and Merbein Colours who actually cough it up. Yeah, and it was a kicking in danger there as the big fella Ricks went down to collect the ball, and McCreary tried to kick his teeth out of his head. Probably not the ideal way to do it, so it's a free kick at half back to Ricks.
Ricks' ball really only goes as far as Peter Fair, who chops it off and just runs forward and goes straight to that dangerous one-on-one contest. Reed only gets a hand to it, and it comes out to Bull, who was there to offer some help from a Merbein perspective, and they move it through hands of Stevens, and goes back now to Bull. His kick, it's just a wobbly one. Is it going to be something that hurts him, though? McCreary is trying to get it back for Redcliffe's. And Bull comes through again, although there's a free kick paid going the way of Merbein in the middle of all that. There's a few bodies around it. And it looks like Lamos Felton will be the recipient.
He got pushed out of the contest, I reckon, there without the footy. So Lamos Felton goes to the wing looking for a leading Harradine. He's got two players to beat. Ball spills into the hands of Ackers. Ackers immediately tackled by a wall of Redcliffe's defenders. And again, centre wing is going to be a throw up here by umpire Bruin, who's had to get that underarm going a few times today. He's had a lot of work there throwing the ball up as it spills to McCreary. McCreary tries to use Jermaine, has to go back and help out as it spills out, this time to Hills. Hills goes forward. He's looking for McDonald Tippermuddy, but he taps it to himself nicely. Tries to turn Brizzy inside out. Gets a handball over the top of the contest to Leckel. Leckel with a short ball inboard, finds Lockyer, who just gets a bit of separation there from his direct opponent in Tapura Muntamuri. And it's just a little bit of magic there from McDonald Tippermuddy to be able to tap it over to himself and then get that nice little handball over the top. And without firing away, Leckel lowered the eyes and finds Lockyer in perfect position.
The three forward line stars who occupy spots in the top 5 lead goal kickers just sharing it with each other, and it's going to be Lockyer with the chance to result in a goal. He starts it a little right, but there's enough there to send it through for a much-needed goal for the Magpies, with Lockyer getting it done.
So second of the afternoon for Lockyer, but he made hard work of it and squeezed it through there, the big sticks. So 21 and a half minutes gone here in the third term. Redcliffe's 8-4-52, leading Merbein 5-10-40 in this mouth-watering contest out at Kwandong Park. As we get a look around the grounds, what's happening around the grounds, especially down the highway at Blackburn Park to start off with.
It's quite a lead now to Owen United, 71-36, and it's just easing a bit at the MSP. South Mildura 49, Taronga Euston 53, so just 4 points in that game.
Yeah, that's the one we want to keep our eyes glued to. As it's been a bit of a seesawing affair out there, but as we said, ramifications for both clubs there for their finals aspirations for 2026, as Ricks gets the ball down only as far as Kennedy. Kennedy runs over the top of the ball. Going back to retrieve it was Gowers. Gowers goes to the top of the 50. Bo Reardon, little nudge, uses that perfect little shimmy to go towards the top of the square, but there all by himself, running back towards goal, was Hooker.
Hooker's ball towards Donahue, although big fly from Felix Smith almost was able to reel it in. It allows Hillslow to get a second chance of clearing it out for the Pies, and through a bit of run from Bedford. It's kicked up the wing, falls short of Trina Bedford though, and Manzi's able to recover through Parker. Now to Kennedy, his ball to the lead of McGlashan, it was, takes the mark as he bends over just outside 50 metres.
As he goes with a short kick, looking for the leading target in Reid. It intercepted again for the second time in a matter of seconds by Hooker. So doing a lot of good things down deep in defence for the Pies at the moment as he switches across to the outer side, across the face of goal. It has to work perfectly. It does for Hemming. Hemming's got a player in the middle in Bedford. Chooses not to use him. In the left back pocket, gives a little bit of candy, gets around Reardon, goes with the opposite left boot down the line, but not a great kick, intercepted by Vastafeo in front of the intended target of Bull. He goes with a short kick, finds Thompson. Thompson goes again, short kick, intercepted this time straight off the hands of Hemming. Coming in to help his Bull. Bull goes further back with a handball to Rhodey. Rhodey short kick looking for Bedford inboard. Trooper Bedford, again, just taking his time, analysing the options down ahead. He goes down further afield looking for Harradine. Harradine's got a few to beat. Ball spills back to Frankel. Frankel with a little paddle forward looking for Lockyer. Lockyer can't get the ball. Spills out to Noah Hills, immediately tackled by Parker. And geez, every time they get the footy at the moment, the Pies, they've got 2 or 3 to contend with. And there's another throw up on the outer side, just forward of centre here for the Pies. And
it's Gowers that wins the tap out, though. Lockyer's there, looming large for Merbein, though Parker comes in to tackle him, and it's going to be rewarded with a free kick going the way of Redcliffe's.
Yeah, and as we said, every time they do get the ball, they're straight onto it, and Parker's generally the culprit. He plays really nice in close, loves the tackle. So again, just forward of centre here for the Pies. Parker's going to get the ball, goes wider, finds Tapura Muntamuri, who marks just in front of the Cumula Club scoreboard. Happy to wind the clock down at the moment, the Tigers. They're 24 and a half minutes gone. He retreats, goes back, finds Tefeo. He can retreat even further into the defensive 50 to Manzi. Manzi can switch across the face if he likes and go to the commentary side. He does. He finds Brizzy. Brizzy juggles it, takes it, gives a quick handball forward to Bell. Bell a long way out of defensive 50, goes with a short kick inboard to Hand. Geez, they're using the ball well today.
Absolutely. Hand holds up on the wing, although he's called to play on and has to try and navigate a couple of Magpies. Goes back to Bell. He goes short over the top of McGlashan, so not quite favouring his teammates there. And Lamos felt threatens to run onto it, but Manzi with a cheeky tap on there gets it in the direction of Connolly, who goals from 45 metres out.
Well, a goal out of nothing, and as we said, it was a wobbly kick going inboard that did not look like to the favour of the Tigers there by Alex Bell, but a beautiful little just intercept punch there that just nudged the ball forward from Bryce Manzi and running into an open goal 40 metres out directly in front. Jed Connolly kicks his third, and just nearly on the death knock of the third quarter time siren. Redcliffs extend their lead 9-4-58 to Merbein 5-10-40. 25 and a half minutes gone here on the third term on the Kumiela Club scoreboard, and wowee, just gives a little bit of breathing space to the Tigers, DFAB. But what's happening around the grounds? What's the right play telling us?
I was just going to tell you, you spoke about how they'd be happy to wind down the clock and get the siren, but they're 3-goal margin instead of 2. They're definitely going to take that. But South now in front, 61-54 against Romeo Wilson.
And there it is, the third quarter time siren out of Kwandong Park. Redcliffs with a late goal, 9-4-58, leading Merbein 5-10-40. As we go back to head office to get a couple of nice words from a couple of our fine sponsors, and we'll take a break here at Kwandong Park. As we said, Tigers leading 58-40 going into a big fourth quarter.
And our scoreline, thanks to the Kumiela Club, sees the Tigers 9-4-58 in front of Merbein 5-10-40 at three-quarter time. We've got the floodlights on. It's getting a little bit dull and dreary here, and I think there's still going to be plenty of spark left in this game as we roll through until the final siren. Goal kickers for Redcliffs, 4 to Jake Reid, 3 to Jed Connolly, and singles for Jasper Turner and Bo Reardon. Meanwhile, for Merbein, a double for Nigel Lockyer, singles for Scott Bedford, Mick Harradine and Corey Lockle. It's Pat Silcox, Ben Ridley, Michael Di Fabrizio and Max Hollingworth at the footy with you this afternoon. Maxie, let's head across to the Tigers' numbers.
Jimmy Kennedy was solid again in that quarter with 5 possessions and 1 behind. Jack Parker was also solid with 5 possessions, 1 mark and 1 tackle. Vesta Fair was a little bit quieter with 4 possessions, 1 mark and 1 tackle. And Desmond Tamari had 5 possessions and 2 marks, while Jake McCreary was again quiet with 2 possessions.
Yes, struggled to really get into the game so far. Maybe he's just going to absolutely go gangbusters in the final term. We're still loving that matchup between Tapura Mantamuri and Nigel Lockyer as we now throw to Merbein. Let's see how they're looking.
Anthony McDonald-Moody was good that quarter. He had 4 possessions and 1 behind. Vinny Rhodey was good as well with 7 possessions, 1 mark and 1 tackle. Scott Bedford was good with 6 possessions. And Nigel Lockyer was good again with 6 possessions and a goal.
Okay, now Riddles gave you an assignment just after half-time to count a certain colour of boots. Now, what did we finish up with there?
There's 8 players with orange boots out there.
8 players with orange boots. Great work, Maxie. Just before you go, who's going to win the game?
I reckon Redcliffs will win this one.
The Tigers, says Maxie, and he may well be on the money. They lead by 18 points here at the third quarter time break with Michael Di Fabrizio and Ben Ridley now back with us. And, let's go to DFAB first, who's refreshing the hell out of the live ladder. How does it sit currently?
Yeah, so as we stand, Mildura, who are getting beaten at the moment, obviously still on top. But then Owen United have overtaken Merbein, so that means that they're winning by enough against the top team to overtake Merbein on percentage.
Wow.
And it's they're the 2 of the 3 teams on 32 points. The other is Redcliffs, obviously. So they are not too far behind. They're 5 percentage points behind Merbein. So if they can rack up the scoreboard in the fourth quarter, they'll certainly take a lot out of that. Ripple, who have the bye, are still in 5th. South Mildura in the lead against Robinvale Euston. That puts South to 6th spot on the ladder.
Yes.
They still have a bye to come. Robinvale Euston don't. But they have that percentage of 107, South Mildura. So if they do make a run, percentage is probably going to be on their side. So it's all happening.
Fantastic run home, isn't it, Ben Ridley? I think you've got a bit of attention just down front and centre here. You've got a couple of boys keen to pay a bit of attention.
No, as we can see, Daniel McShane, who's got some beautiful hairy legs down there. He's the only bloke who doesn't have to wear shorts in winter because it just looks like he's wearing long pants the whole time, but he's actually wearing shorts. And he's just got hair like a bear on those trunks.
That he has. Just about ready for a start here. Final term, it's Redcliffs 9-4-58. Leading at Merbein 5-10-40 as we throw over to your commentary team of Michael Di Fabrizio and Ben Ridley.
And the fourth quarter starts with a big tap out of the contest by Ashton Gowers. The ball goes forward, pushed along only as far as Bedford, who weaves his way through the pack with magic, goes to the top of the 50, looking for Harradine, who backs back perfectly And the first 15 seconds of this vital fourth term sees a little bit of magic from Bedford, just weaving his way through 4 or 5 players. And a gutsy, courageous mark there, going back with the flight of the ball there by Harradine.
Yep.
And we spoke about him and sung his praises earlier on, DFAB, but this is as big a kick as he's had for his career over the last couple of seasons.
That's right. This to bring it back down to 12 points and keep Merbein in the contest as the lights are on. It was great work from Bedford. He picked it up off the deck and ran away from all the other players. But now Harradine gets the chance. Not much angle, just inside 50. Gets close to the man on the mark. Starts at the left. It's got the distance, but it stays on that left side and just the behind. So that would be the 11th for Merbein of this game. As Redcliffe's bring it back in through McCreary, who's just settled in the back line to start this quarter.
Yeah, very, very unique position for McCreary, who's a renowned forward and kicks goals at will, but hasn't been able to find his groove over the last couple of weeks since he's come back. So no doubt just trying to inject him into the game as the ball comes back inboard, looking for Leckel from half forward.
Yeah.
Leckel's been chopped at the arms by Turner, so 55 metres out, just hugging the boundary line on the school side of the oval. Goes with a short kick into the pocket. Jumping up in the air, looking for an easy mark was Lockyer. He's had to spin around on his left boot, heads for goal, and coming in again to save the day on the last line of defence for the Tigers, Peter Tafeo with a big punch forward, 5-12-42. Merbein still trailing Redcliffe 9-4-58 on the Kumiella Club scoreboard. This big fourth quarter out of Quandong Park as the ball cleared out of the defensive 50 there by Redcliffe. Going back to help out looks like that was young Smith, who's quickly wrapped up by, no, it was Stevens for Merbein on the outer side. As we said, the two doppelgangers there. Only difference between the two boys really is black boots, white boots. There's a big punch out of the ruck contest there by Leckel. Goes only as far as Kennedy of Redcliffe. Kennedy goes further back to Hand. Hand goes out wide to Turner. Turner gives it a big up and under, looking for some distance, but gets a bit of width on the ball, and it goes out of bounds on the full. And on the outer wing, going to be kick taken by, looks like Cole Stevens.
Yeah, so Stevens had the option there of just palming it off to Hooker, but he'll instead look to try and get it towards 50, and he's got a short target there in Bedford, who takes the mark and makes sure that he's got enough metres there with the man on the mark to get it a bit closer to goal. In the end, opts for the short kick, though, to Hooker. So they're still just about 60 metres out. This time they do go inboard, and it's a double-fisted spoil there from Manzi from Redcliffe's. He gets it as far as Kennedy. His ball out of trouble goes all the way up to the wing to the Steele and Bull contest. So Bull is getting a chance at lining up on Steele, it looks like, in this quarter. Although Bull calm under pressure, is able to sort of walk it out of trouble.
Akis immediately tackled as soon as he got the ball. Could have been caught holding it as Vastafeo is caught holding the ball.
Yep.
As he tried to break his way through the contest. As you said, Nate Bull, who's going to take that crucial centre-half forward man in Jack Steele, who's clunking everything. So good move there by the coaching fraternity of Merbein as he goes with a dangerous kick into the corridor. It's a one-on-one contest. Sees the ball spill off the boot of Page. Gets a little bit of distance further down the field to Hills. Hills calmly gets it out to Harradine. Harradine tries to handball inboard, finds Donahue. Donahue's got Stevens. No, Smith inboard if he wants in the corridor. With that beautiful left foot, goes to the top of the 50 to a leading trooper, Bedford. He can go further lateral if he likes. Finds Harradine. He does. So Harradine, 55 metres out, loads up, looking for McDonald. Tipamudi, who dropped what he should have taken, spills back into the hands of Brizzy. Brizzy inboard to Tapura Muntimuri, and Tapura Muntimuri clears the defensive 50 and into the safe hands of Jet Connolly.
Once again, Pete Tafeo, the third man in the contest, didn't really have to do much there, but just his presence might have worried McDonald, Tip and Woody out of it, as Redcliffe's just trying to move it up the wing as they just hold it up in front of the interchange gates and wait for something to present itself. Long kick down the line. It could favour Reid here if he gets a good leap at it. But
Page's head.
Page has gone down and it's spilled out the back to Smith. He's kicked it back up the wing towards Hooker, but over his head, Jermaine looking to recover it for Redcliffe. He does so. He's got some help there through Connolly and Kennedy. Now to McGlashan is short ball. Finds the target there in one of their key players in Jack Parker.
Right half forward, Jack Parker, slowing it down, pointing towards the boundary. Kicking to a leading target in Steele. Steele bodies out. Juggling mark. Perfect use of the body. Against a little bit of a lighter Nate Bull. And it's exactly where he wanted the ball to go. Jack Parker just propped it up nicely. and just let Steele do all the rest, as he's going to be kicking a couple of metres inside the right-hand boundary. Bit of a tight angle, but he's done pretty well today in everything that's come before him, so you'd expect something special here from Steele to start the last term for the Tigers, DFAB.
Absolutely. He'd be keen to get his name in the goal sheet as he comes in. The line starts on the boundary line about 55 metres out, but he has the chance to just walk into a slightly better angle. And he does all right off the boot, but it just...
he hasn't, has he?
It's snuck in. It's a goal to Steele, and he certainly is happy with that one.
Well, a much-deserved goal to Steele as well. As we said, he's been doing it further up the ground today and taking just clunk after clunk. And that was not an easy kick to be able to take there right on the boundary. But as we've seen Redcliffe do so many times from tight angles, they've been able to slot it through. And Redcliffe now extend that lead, 10-4-64. Merbein 5-12-42. 6 minutes gone here in the last term on the Kumiela Club scoreboard. We might quickly get around the grounds, DFAB.
Yep, for Fatty Boomba, it's a 9-point lead now to South Mildura. That 9-9-63, leading Robinvale Houston 8-6-54. And that's they might be a little bit ahead of us by the looks. About 15 minutes gone, fourth quarter. So that could be getting in the later stages.
Well, very interesting down there at the MSP as we see Ricks win the ball only as far as Jermaine. Gets a quick handball to Kennedy, who tripped over his own feet. So did Bedford. Bedford goes with a handball out of the contest, but only as far as Smith. Smith goes to centre half forward. Over the back of the contest, Jared McGlashan could have been held without the ball. The umpire says no. Hooker runs on, but is intercepted by Smith. Smith, quick handball inside to Steele. Steele loads up, looking for a leading target in Reid. Ball beats everybody, running onto it over the back is Stevens. Stevens paddles it towards Akis. Akis immediately tackled there by Vastafao. Uses it a little tap out wide to Stevens. They're desperately looking for the boundary line. And they find it. So all the pressure there from the forward 50 players there for the Tigers. 5 metres around from their attacking goal. Another boundary throw in.
Some very desperate defending is off the throw in. Still opts to try and basically volley it out of the ruck contest. It ends up working kind of to Vastafao.
He's not again. Is it Turner?
Is it Turner to launch it towards goal? He was eyeing another one, but that's off to the left or behind.
Gee whiz, Turner. You know he's up and about. He's had his second shot on goal for, probably his only his ever second shot on goal there, but that time a little bit wayward, but again extending that lead, 10-5-65. Tigers leading Merbein 5-12-42 on the Kumiela Club scoreboard.
And just quickly around the grounds to the game we're probably paying the least amount of attention to. At the bottom of the ladder, it's 53-all between him and Wentworth.
There we go. Well, both sides deserving of a win, as we said, ravaged with injuries as the kick goes out to a running player in Ricks. It's intercepted, handball forward to Parker. He runs in 30 metres out. Whoa. Misses to the right-hand side, but all the hard work in the forward half being done by the Tigers. And Jimmy Kennedy is certainly amongst every opportunity going forward. Slick hands there to the running player in Parker.
Yep, so it's just a 4-goal buffer now, in essence, as Merbein try and get it out of defence. They do, looks like the Foundusher on the wing. It's gone through his hands to Akis, and in the end, the boundary line's just right there and might have beaten them.
Yeah, it's a free kick, in fact. Yeah, so it just actually come off the shoelaces there of Vastafao as Akis kicks long down the line looking for Harradine. Very good mark there as he had pressure from 2 defenders. So he quickly plays onto the left boot, goes to the top of the 50 looking for Lockyer. Lockyer and McDonald Tipamudi doing work at the fall of the ball, but McDonald Tipamudi takes, looks like Bryce Manzi over the shoulder. At the top of the 50, Bryce Manzi's going to take the free kick. Don't really have anything to go to at the moment as we see a big lead come from McGlashan on the outer side. He goes that direction, ball beats everybody, spills over the back of the contest, and on the outer side centre wing there'll be another throw in.
So it's Redcliffe's haven't quite put it beyond doubt yet, but they have had a few chances in the last few minutes to try and do that, and they might try and get it that way again as we're thrown in on the wing. It's going to favour Ricks though, and he just takes it out of the ruck and plays on. Sends it towards Lockel, who's pushed up a little bit, and in the end he might have had a bit of contact late there. So it's going to be a free kick the way of Lockel, about 70 to 80 metres out from goal, but he could set it up nicely with a good kick here.
Gee, Hand is a really good defender, isn't he? I mean, Lockel obviously beating him for size, but last week we saw him against Kerridge and he just rarely gets beaten.
That's right, and obviously showed his ability to go all over the ground last week. That kick was nicely done there to Rhodey, who's been good today in his return. And he's the one that looks inside 50. It's set up nicely there for Lockyer. Has he done enough? No, it's spilled basically all the way out to Stevens, who is then able to spot out Ackers, who's directly in front, but about 45 metres from goal.
Beautiful little kick inboard there from Stevens on his opposite foot. But, gee whiz, you're not going to see Lockyer take those and drop them. It was virtually in front with not a huge amount of pressure. But either way, we're quick to recover, and Ackers is going to be kicking directly in front, 45 metres out, gives everything he possibly can, doesn't quite make the distance. Ball spills down. It's a mark.
Someone had enough of it.
They've called a mark, and we can't really make out who it was to because the pack was that large.
It looks like
Lockyer, is it?
Yep, he's going back for it.
It is, yeah.
Donald Tippenwood tried to take the advantage, but wasn't going, so it's going to be, it's not quite directly in front. We thought it might have been in the goal square, but it's going to have to be from a very tricky angle that Lockie is going to have to navigate.
Yeah, well, he would have been fourth in line there, and as we said, it was a big pack of probably 10 players right on the line there, and Lockie has been able to clunk it deep inside that pack, but he's going to be kicking from the favourable side for a left footer. He'll be able to just give himself a little bit of room and kick around the shoulder there and snap it through.
But just pausing for might have been a blood rule indicated by the central umpire. So
okay, yep. So we can see Harradine
started anytime soon.
Is that Pettit coming off?
It's Fastafo with the headband that's becoming more of a yellow and red headband.
Yeah, no, it's certainly a little bit of claret there on the front as we see Lockyer. Handball back to him now. So he swings around, does exactly what we think, kicks around the body and snaps truly. Much needed goal there for the Pies as they just try and keep pace at the moment. That's his third for the afternoon. That makes the lead a little bit smaller here. So the Tigers 10-6-66 leading Merbein 6-12-48. So still within striking distance. 12 minutes gone in this fourth term, and around the grounds, what's happening?
Yeah, for Fatty Moomba, South Mildura, 10-11-71, leading Robinvale Houston 8-6-54. And it's a countdown clock, so it looks like there's about 10 minutes left in that one.
Yeah, well, there we go. So, as we said, that's probably the one that everyone's been keeping their eye on outside of this game here. Obviously, brought to you by Colling and Teeny First National. Our 106.7 Hot FM match of the round as we see Vinnie Rohde and Cooper Jermaine giving each other a couple of little love taps out there. We like to see that. As Vinnie Rohde goes back with his Mexican moustache and tries to give a bit of cheek. So this time the ball's punched out of there. Ruck contest by Gowers onto a running McCreary with a wobbly kick left boot. Nearly missed everything. In front position on hands and knees is Steele. He's got three players around him as the ball spills into the contest. Going in, Paddy Connolly of Redcliffe immediately wrapped up, and at the top of the 50, left half forward. It's going to be another ball up here attacking in for the Tigers, who are going to look to try and extend this lead back out to 4 goals again.
So Frankel gets the nice hit out there. It almost got sharp like Kennedy, although in the end it's out of danger by the Magpies. Dusha arrives to help out and has a runner, so it's now going to be switched to the near side wing. And look, it's some nice footwork there from Hamming. Shakes his opponent and sends it towards half forward in that direction for Trooper Bedford. He's having to scramble against Pete Tafeo. He does nice to get the handball away, and it's kicked out of danger. Kennedy flies from nowhere, and that's going to be unrealistic.
Unrealistic? Gee whiz, incredibly unrealistic. But I'll tell you what, if any of these kids are listening and keeping on your feet, Pete Tafeo there on the contest as we see Frankel load inside 50 looking for Leckel, who's beaten. Well, that man Hand, as we said, is really starring across deep half back at the moment for the Tigers. And the intercept mark, he goes long down the line looking for Turner. Turner, who was a goal kicker today, goes with a handball backwards to Brizzy. Brizzy back inboard to McGlashan. McGlashan to Manzi. And Manzi, taken high in the tackle by Dusha as McGlashan and Brizzy come in to remonstrate. The young fellow certainly nearly decapitated there. And the Redcliffe boys going in to let them know no, they're not happy with that type of activity going on. And Manzi gets up, picks his head up off the ground, and goes with a short kick inboard to McGlashan.
Brizzy and Frankel still exchanging words with Lockwood coming in as well, but they've separated now, and Redcliffe's meanwhile just getting on with it at half back. Although the kick to Manzi just stays in line with the boundary line, and Manzi keeps it moving. And with one arm free, Steele takes the mark, plays on against Bull, sets it up. Oh, it was going to be nice for Kennedy, but he didn't quite have his feet. And so the Pies they'll get the kick out of danger, but it only goes as far as Hand, who's pushed up to the middle of the wing, taking a nice mark. And we'll just look to reset for Redcliffe, who are leaving a few players back. So they're just opting to perhaps park the bus a little bit and let the numbers down back speak for themselves.
A little bit too early to start parking buses, you would think, at the moment with this run and gun style of play from the Pies. They can certainly pile them on quickly as Bedford tries to do that from half back. Goes out wide looking for Hills. Pushes his direct opponent out. The umpire says it's all good, but the spill's back into Peter Tafayo's hands. Goes out wide looking for Smith. Smith inboard to Jermaine. Jermaine back to Peter Tafayo. Further back to McGlashan, who drops a wobbly ball. So going in to help is McDonald Tippermoody of Merbein. Gives it off to a running Lockyer. Lockyer to Rhodey. Rhodey back from a honeymoon. Wobbly kick towards the goal square. Lockyer has a couple to beat. Running in. Sockling it off the ground. Something out of nothing.
Rhodey
was the married man, Rhodey. And I'll tell you what, was that a wedding present that they needed from the Pies there? As he gets up, he's certainly holding his head because that was some serious gut running by Rhodey.
He ran into the contest and just threw the boot at it, but both him and Lockwood collected each other and taking a while to get up. But wow, that just whatever needed to be done. Desperate footy there, and it results in the goal and a much needed one.
Yeah, well, as we said, that was World Cup style goal kicking there from Rhodey off the ground. But that gets him back within 2 goals. Redcliffe 10-6, 66 leading Merbein 7-12, 54 on the Kumiela Club scoreboard. 16.5 minutes gone. What's happening around the ground's DFAT?
Yes, for Fatty Mumbo, now back to 5 points. South Mildura 72, Robinvale Euston 67. South lost by a goal last week. They wouldn't want to lose another close one and see their season fade away in that fashion.
As Ricks tries to clear it out of the contest, only as far as Thompson. He runs into a wall, tries to get a handball out. Umpire Bruin comes in and says, I'll ball it up in the centre of the ground again. So Ricks and McGlashan this time doing the ruck duties. And this time it is Ricks down to Bedford. Bedford to the running player in Hills. Hills goes inboard, kicking inside 50, looking for McDonald Tippermoody, beaten to the ball by Brizzy. He goes back looking for Tafayo. Wasn't a perfect handball. So Tafayo this time to Turner. Turner to a running player in Brizzy. Spills the ball, but good enough to get it to Nolte. Nolte with a short kick further afield wide. Finds Paddy Connolly, who immediately plays on not 15, the umpire says. So he gets it back to Turner in that quarterback position, long down the field, and from behind, a great grab taken by Jared McGlashan.
Really nicely done. Had to reach for it in the one-on-one contest, but keeps it moving to Steele. So they're about 80 metres from goal. Steele takes the mark, and his instincts say to keep going, and he does in the end. Almost got it to Reardon, but had to fall over to try and reel it in. So there to meet it is going to be Reed, but it's going to be worked out of trouble somewhat there by the Pies, as the kick doesn't get very far away from the forward pocket. Ricks desperately kicks it away. It's 50 metres from goal. Arriving there now is Lockyer, his handball. Looks like it's going to sit up for Scott Bedford. I'm not sure he knew it was going to sit up for him. And in the end, he gets it and gets a handball away. And the kick's out of danger up the middle of the ground.
And it's intercepted at centre-half back by Peter Tafayo. Kicks towards half-forward, finds Parker on the bounce. Parker gives it to the running Nolte. Nolte with a handball forward inside 50, looking for Connolly. Got a bit of work to do. Tries to get the handball over the back, intercepted by Hooker. And in the defensive 50, Hooker's been really important all day. And another nice intercept there. And the ruck contest punched out by Steele. Running onto it is Connolly. Snaps around the body and misses everything. Out of bounds on the full. Wouldn't have surprised us if he kicked it though, because they've been kicking those types of goals today.
Absolutely. Hooker was right on his tail there. Didn't let him get a kick away without a bit of pressure. So out on the full, and it'll be really important possession this one for Merbein to try and work it from one end of the ground to the other.
Well, they're still right there, only 12 points behind. 19 minutes gone in this last term. Angus Smith takes a free kick, gets a little bit of distance, goes down, swing, looking for Lockyer. Lockyer somehow keeps it in. The umpire says it's a boundary throw-in, but a really important punch from behind from Tapura Montemurri, and been the matchup of the day by far. These two have been close to best on ground for both sides. And right half forward here, right underneath our noses in the commentary box. Ruck contest is won by McGlashan down to Bedford. He just tries to shake off a couple of players. Lucky not to be caught holding the ball. Goes over the boundary line. McCreary comes in to give him a little bit of love. And just showing a little bit of aggression there, McCreary. He loves it. As we're going to see another boundary throw in here. Again, exact same spot in front of the coach's box here for Merbein. This time Ricks, beaten to it again, tapped down perfectly by McGlashan to Connolly. Paddy gets it towards Steele. Steele could have been taken without the ball going in to get the ball, could have been taken high. Just caught on the blind side there was the umpire. He's going to throw it up, but G. Reardon was unlucky there, but could have been another free kick.
We get restarted. Ricks gets the nice position and finds a teammate with his hit out in dodge, but it's escapes his grasp and it's taken over the line for a throw. A few bodies getting thrown around, and once more again.
It's
McCreary
here, is it?
It is. He's swung him to the ground, although there was a bit happening up until that, but that might have been the one that tipped the scales. So Merbein with the chance now to reload off half back. It's going to take has done the nice mark from behind over Hills. He climbed the hills, took a nice mark on the second grab. And I tell you what, he's been playing well all afternoon.
He
probably deserves a goal.
He does deserve a goal, and he's taken some pretty special grabs all day. That one being the most special of them all, as you said. He used Hills as a step ladder. He's going to be kicking 55 metres out directly in front. He's doing the Matthew Lloyd, throwing the grass up in the air. And he'd back himself from here to Feo. He's got a fairly big boot on him, and he has been a renowned goal kicker in the past. So he comes in, gives everything he can. It's probably not going to make the distance, as we see. Come from behind, punch by Ricks. And it's a crucial point there. Extends the lead there by 13 points, just outside of 2 clear goals. 21 and a half minutes gone on the Kumiela Club scoreboard. Redcliffe's 10-7-67, leading Merbein 7-12-54 around the grounds DFAB.
Fatty Boomba, 2-goal lead to South Mildura. They're 80. Rondell Houston, 68. And looks like we've got a full-time score. Wentworth have won 67-53 over Imperials.
There we go. So, as we said, some very, very close contests right around at the moment. 13 points out here at Quandong Park, deep into the last quarter. Clearing out of defence, Cole Stevens goes long down the line. Peter Tafeo comes in with a juggling mark again. Goes inboard, looking for McCreary. He's running onto it, but runs over the top of it at the most crucial time. Coming in to help out for Merbein was Stevens, but immediately tackled there by McCreary. But inside 50, we're going to see another ball up 40 metres out directly in front of the Redcliffe's goal. Tapped out by Ricks. Looking for Rhodey. Rhodey overruns it. Going inboard for Redcliffe was Paddy Connolly, but just goes wide of the boundary and it's out of bounds on the full.
So Merbein will get the chance very deep in defence to try and launch something as they look to reel in this 13-point deficit. 67 plays 54. The home side Redcliffe's with the lead. And the kick from Bedford looks nicely weighted there for Pettit, who's got it at centre half back and plays on, sends it in the direction of Page, and on the third juggle, can't reel it in, which allows a soccer from Reed towards the boundary line, just gaining a bit of territory. Hemming tries to get there, but doesn't get there in time. We've got to throw in on the boundary line, but favouring the Redcliffe's end of the ground. Merbein weren't able to make up too much territory.
And the Chicken Hawk has done a bit of work right at this exact position in the last quarter. This time the punch goes down from Ricks. It's a nicely roped contest there by Akis. Wobbly kick forward, lands into the hands of Dusha, tries to give the ball back to a running Bedford, gets a handball out to Pettit. Pettit with the forward ball to McDonald Tippermoody, gets the 1-2, runs to the top of the 50. It's an open goal square. He kicks truly, and it's a goal. They're not dead yet, the Pies. And that was a great passage of play there. Pettit runs on with a 1-2. And it's only 7 points the difference. 23 and a half minutes gone. Redcliffe 10-7-67. Leading Merbein, who are not letting them go. 8-12-60 on the Kumiela Club scoreboard. And I'll tell you what, there's a pulse.
It's not over yet. Merbein could still reel this one in. 7 points. Just coming up on 24 minutes. So anything's possible at this stage, you reckon? We'll see what they've got in them.
I'll tell you what, they just will not let go, the Pies, at the moment. They're giving absolutely everything. So Ricks and McGlashan. Ricks gets the ball down. McCreary tries to tap it forward. Hills runs onto it. Ball spills down, barging his way through the contest was Bell of Redcliffe, but immediately tackled was Stevens, who came in to try and surge the ball forward for the Pies. Right in the middle of the ground, there's going to be another ball up. Again, 24 and a bit minutes gone in this fourth term. 7 points the difference in favour of the Tigers. Handball out of the contest to that man Pettit. Taps it forward. Interception comes by Hand. Hand runs out with a kick to half forward. Steal! Wow, it'll be his 20th mark for the afternoon. He has taken everything that's come near him, and he's happy to see the clock count down with a kick wide. Looks like he finds Thompson. Thompson again happy to hold it up right underneath that Kumiela Club scoreboard. As we said, nearly 25 minutes gone. 7 point lead here to the Tigers.
That was probably the first time Steele didn't just moving the ball quickly with one of those marks on the wing, and he's taken another one here, although didn't quite take the mark, but it was illegally interrupted in the process, so he'll get the free on the wing, and he's, I don't know if the clock is still ticking, but he's got a bit of World Cup style time wasting in him. He waited for Lockwood to pass him the ball back.
Got a man up here, Merbein, because there's players behind the ball for Redcliffe if they really want a time waste. Murray. Gee whiz, I nearly had a coughing attack there, just trying to get his name out. So at left half forward, boundaries throw in, attacking in for the Tigers. Can they get the sealer here? McGlashan doing the ruck duties again, taps it down nicely, looking for Reed and tries to burst his way through, intercepted by Hemming around the body. Kicks it only as far as Steele, runs onto it, kicks on the outside of the boot, going inside 50, a nice mark taken by Bedford. He's got to play on quick. You would think that the clock is counting down here at the moment, DFAB, as he plays on. It's a dangerous kick inboard, going back with confidence and a juggling mark there by Manzi.
Yep. Beautifully done, back with the flight, had to juggle it, but on the second grab as he was hitting the deck, he took the mark. Now he kicks it inside 50, Reed's there, but ends up just at the front of the contest, and it sits for Page, who takes the mark, and he's got Stevens, so they've got to go quickly. The kick goes up the middle, up the guts. That's one way to get it end to end. Lockall's pushed up to take the mark. He's near the centre wicket though, and turns and goes quickly. He's got Lockyer if it just travels far enough. Better position than Tapua Mantamuri, but has to go on the second attempt. The handball into air though is interrupted by Steele, who's wrapped up in a tackle. That'll be held up 55 metres from the Merbein goal as they try and reel in this 7-point deficit.
So at right half forward, you'd think this is the last chance here to roll the dice for the Pies, but Jack Steele, who's been massive, the co-coach all day, smashes it out of the contest. Ball goes over the boundary line on the outer wing. Be another boundary throw-in just forward of centre here for the Pies, but time is clearly ticking down. 27 minutes gone. Redcliffe's 10-7-67 over Merbein, 8-12-60 as the ball spills down to Dusha inboard. Quick handball to Ricks. Ricks is too late, and that is all she wrote out at Quandong Park. Redcliffe's holding on 10-7-67 over Merbein with a late flurry of goals home, 8-12-60. So Redcliffe's by 7 points in the end in a cracking game here with two very, very worthy, you would think, finals contenders. And what a magnificent performance, DFAB. We're going to take a break out here at Quandong Park. We're going to go back to head office, get a couple of nice, kind words from our sponsors, and we'll be back shortly to wrap up the Colliantini First National Match of the Day. Redcliffe's 10-7-67, defeating Merbein 8-12-60.
Enjoy everything the Euston Club Resort has to offer. Sunday to Thursday, 10:30am to 11pm, and Friday and Saturday, 10:30am till midnight. Station 46 Bistro, open 7 days a week. Bookings recommended. Members draws, cash draws, Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays between 6 and 8pm. Weekly Wednesday raffles from 7pm. Free live entertainment Friday and Saturday night. Become a member. It's easy and affordable with huge benefits. Visit www.eustonclub.com.au. Hot sponsors.
It's worth the drive to Pioneer Ford Robinvale. You get so much more than you thought. It's not just the place for great deals from your award-winning Ford dealer. They're also proud to offer customer service that extends throughout the ownership for your vehicle and beyond. Experience the difference and contact Pioneer Ford Robinvale today for sales, servicing and repairs you can trust. It is worth the drive. Head over to Pioneer Ford Robinvale or log on to pioneerford.com.au. LMCT 7329.
Sponsors of Hot FM. Invest in yourself, level up your fitness and smash your 2026 goals at Club Aquarius. Choose from the 24/7 Gym and Group Fitness Centre on 15th Street, the 24/7 Gym and Wellness Centre on 11th Street, or the new 24-hour convenience clubs at Irimple and Redcliffe, and coming soon to Golgol. Let the Club Aquarius all-in-one app make your fitness journey easier. Check class timetables, track your activity and progress, and explore thousands of exercise demos all from your phone. Club Aquarius, hot sponsor.
Fatty Boombar's back at 66 Lime Avenue. Burgers, sides, palmies, salads, toasties, great coffee and more. No clowns, no roosters, no colonels. Just honest food, no fuss. Dine in or take away lunch and dinner Tuesday to Saturday. Fatty Boombar, Lime Avenue.
Hot sponsors.
Outstanding results again and again and again. It's what you expect from industry leaders Colley and Tierney Real Estate, serving the people of Sunraysia for 75 years. Trusted and professional real estate advice and service, consistently delivering results for residential, commercial, lifestyle and rural properties. It's the right choice for your property. Call Colley and Tierney today and see what they can do for you. Colley and Tierney Real Estate. They put you first.
Sponsors of Hot FM.
Don't miss 60 mad minutes every Friday night at the Kumiala Club. There's 50 prizes to be won, including meat trays, gift cards and household items, plus a whole lot more. The Kumiala Club is also your ultimate playground. Play some of the world's best golf courses and take on the Interactive Games Challenge. Perfect for your next function, birthday celebration, or just having fun with your mates. The Kumiala Club, proud sponsor of your community radio, Hot FM.
The Sunraysia Footy Match of the Day, thanks to Colley and Tierney First National Real Estate. The SFNL Match of the Day on Hot FM, your official SFNL broadcaster.
And we are back at Condon Park, your Colley and Tierney Sunraysia Footy Match of the Day. What an exciting roller coaster of a ride we had in that final term. Redcliffe's getting the vitally important 4 premiership points today. 10-7-67 over Merbein, 8-12-60. For Redcliffe's, 4 goals to Jake Reid, 3 goals to Jed Connolly, and singles for Jasper Turner, Bo Reardon and Jack Steele. Meanwhile for Merbein, Nigel Lockyer potted 3, and there were singles for Vinnie Rohde, Lucas Pettit, Scotty Bedford, Mick Harradine and Corey Lockle. Pat Silcox, Ben Ridley, Michael Di Fabrizio and Max Hollingworth with you this afternoon. Maxie, you've got the task at hand here to wrap us up for the day. Let's go straight off to the home side, Redcliffe's.
Jimmy Kennedy was good today. He had 16 possessions. Jack Parker was also good with 20 possessions, 3 marks, 2 tackles and 1 behind. Vasta Farrow was solid with 15 possessions and 3 marks. Desmond Timpandamari was solid with 15 possessions and 5 marks. And Jake McCreary was quiet with 6 possessions.
Yeah, just couldn't really get things happening, unfortunately, today, as we see the 100-game man, the Briz, being chaired off the ground. He'll enjoy a couple of quiet lemonades in the rooms in about an hour or so's time. But, yeah, McCreary still a bit of work to do to get some match fitness back into the body. But it can only be a good thing for Tigers fans that they can win these games without their gun recruit really hitting his strap. So onwards and upwards, I reckon. Certainly as far as the Condon Park faithful are concerned, we can see lots of happy faces going beneath us into the sheds below. Let's quickly have a look at the Merbein numbers there, Maxie.
Tipper was quiet today. He had 8 possessions and 1 tackle. Vinnie Rohde was good with 21 possessions, 3 marks, 1 tackle and 1 goal. Scott Benford was good with 21 possessions, 2 marks, 1 tackle, 1 inside 50 and a goal. And Nigel Lockyer was good with 19 possessions, 4 marks and 3 goals.
Fantastic job, Maxie. We got you for one more game before we head in towards the finals. And you'll have a couple of weeks hiatus, but we'll see you at Henshawood next weekend for the Swallows and the Kangas.